I don't know
My
what you're
point
saying.
is, you're trying to look at Volk and saying, "Oh, but he's a 45." That's not a talent. That's not as good as a win because when you go up in weight,
It
you're
isn't.
less
He didn't have a
talented,
win at
which is a
55.
horrible narrative.
It
People
isn't.
who actually go up in weight are more impressive statistically from what I've been seeing. So I disagree with that claim. And if,
Statistically, from what you've been seeing,
yes, I mean, look at Robert Whitaker, Paulo
and
Costa.
win.
Look
You
at
can
everyone
just
knows
go up and
lineman
win, and
skills are
that
a real
means
thing. Yeah, you
you can
could
just
try
go up
to
and
move
win,
the
and that
goalpost.
matters. But it's
Yo,
not a top 5
you're
win.
getting
It's not a
torched,
top
man.
10 win.
Paulo Costa beat a top 5 ranked opponent in Azamat Mercer from as a
Sure,
middleweight.
now that's great, but let's see a title win. You
But
said all these
you
guys
just
are
said
moving up
top 5. You just
and
said
taking
top 5
over.
win. I named a top 5 win. Now you're saying, oh, but title win. Then I named Alex
I'm
Pereira,
saying,
Islam
where's it
Makhachev,
at?
and Ilya Taporia. And then you're like, oh, well, those don't count because those are too good. So you got to make up your mind. What else do I have to name? I'll name everything on the planet.
What
I'll
happened
name
when
everything
what
on the
happened when
planet.
Ilya got? Yet. Who are the wins that aged well for Islam?
I think Volkanovski win aged pretty well. I think the Charles Oliveira win, especially recently, has been aging very well.
Here's if the Volkanovski aged well,
Yeah,
because he kept doing what he was doing at 45, is that a well-aged win?
of course.
Or is he just doing what he was already doing?
I think it's a well-aged win because there's a lot of people in light heavyweight who are doing really good things like Reyes, and then like they lost to Jones and they don't keep doing what they're doing at light heavyweight after the fact.
Fair.
So, but I'm asking you, we're debating right now which is the better double champ resume. So after he beat Cyril Gane, and that had a significant skill gap. If you look at Islam and JDM before the fight, what was JDM being praised for? His scrambling ability, his ability and his boxing as well. So objectively, you would look at that fight like, oh, Dustin Poirier had good scrambles, was able to give Islam a tough fight. He's going to go up and win against JDM. That's a very challenging fight. John Jones doesn't take challenging fights. He doesn't do that. Islam took that. And if we compare the defense, which is very embarrassing because I can't even talk about a 44-year-old Stipe compared to a young up-and-comer like Ian Garry. Don't ever in your life think that this double champ status on both of them are even close. Because at the start of this, you said that, yeah, listen, I don't think so. So now you're going to concede, and I know you will. So I got Wade Plem over here. You know, we're gonna kind of talk about Islam Makhachev and John Jones because
it's first time on the channel, by the way. It's first time.
First time. Yeah.
Me.
Oh well. Okay. I'm gonna let Wade introduce himself. You know, you have the floor. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
It's the Wade concept. It's since 2017 in this thing. You know what I'm saying? 1-0 by way of. No, this is my introduction to I don't know what you call your channel or the Okoyes. I don't know.
No, just KennyOkoyeMMA gang. Come on.
No, but I don't know what your community's name is. But hey, I appreciate it. I've been knowing Kenny for it feels like 6 years now or something, 7 years, and I've been seeing him do a good work with the MMA stuff. We disagree on a lot though, and so that's why I'm here. We want to debate the GOAT, and we're sticking to 2 people today. We're not trying to introduce like the entirety of who we could go with, because there's other people that I guess you could try to put in the conversation. But we're talking John Jones, Islam Makhachev. I'm taking John Jones. You're taking Islam. Of course. And that's why I'm here.
So yeah, Wade he's a bit of a listen. I was on Twitter, guys. Let me just tell you something about Wade. He just be tweeting stuff sometimes, and I'm like, I saw what he said after Islam Makhachev defeated Ian Garry, which was a crazy win. I think we could both agree.
It's a good win.
It was a great win against what I feel like is a next generation of welterweight. And I saw Wade, and he's pretty much saying something along the lines of, "Oh man, but there's still John Jones." Just so is the John Jones, man. And it's like I'm surprised we're actually here because he made a big mistake going against the most decorated debater in the MMA community, and now I'm defending the most.
Is that right? Are you the most decorated?
Bro, look, do your research, gang.
I haven't done, I don't listen. I'm not trying to. I want that. I want to go against the best. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you for signing the funeral up. So, yeah, we're gonna start. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna say why I feel like Islam Makhachev's the GOAT, and then I'll let him say why he feels like Jones the GOAT, and then from there we just freestyle. You know, we'll try to keep it civil. You know, it might get heated. Who knows? I don't know, but I'll start with mine. So Islam Makhachev, in my opinion, is the greatest of all time in the UFC. And I don't actually think it's that close, especially if you're comparing John Jones. Sure. First of all, because the Anderson Silva win streak, he's now surpassed it, and now it's Islam Makhachev's win streak. I personally feel like, and a lot of people can agree with me, that win streak specifically was probably looked at as like one of those win streaks that are never going to be broken, especially in the modern era. Given that, it's a lot harder to get momentum like that and ride a good win streak when you're not fighting substitute teachers. So Islam Makhachev surpassing that, as well as the fact... Crazy. That was a crazy win streak, as well as the fact that his resume is just more impressive. Simply put, look at the people he's fought and the people he's beat. It's more impressive. And I think Islam's also just a more well-rounded opponent, and he has a well-rounded fighter. And I feel like he also has like the right GOAT mentality. He doesn't duck any fades. He fights anyone no matter what. And I think that's what a GOAT comes down to: accolades, skill, and mindset. So I'll let you say why you think Jones is the GOAT now.
Yeah, so John Jones is the GOAT because his actual accolades are unmatched by Islam Makhachev or anybody else. The only accolade I guess Islam has is the win streak, which is the 17 straight. That's a massive one. And yes, 13-year streak. I agree with you. I didn't think he was ever going to get broken. And the only reason I thought that is because John Jones has a DQ on his record.
Yep.
That without it, potentially it could have been, right? So outside of that, John holds every other accolade, what I would consider to be GOAT worthy, which is him being the youngest UFC champion in the history of this company. And that's a massive start, right? Him having 16 title wins, not defenses, but title wins.
Yep.
12 title defenses. 8 champions on his resume.
That's great.
2-weight world champion, which Islam has as well, but I feel like that's the qualifier at this point. I feel like to talk about GOAT, you got to be a double champ.
Of course.
I feel like you got to be.
I agree with that.
Win over the heavyweight GOAT. 12 UFC finishes. 22 UFC fights. Has never been knocked out. These are all things. It's not an angle. It's just the truth. These are all things that Islam Makhachev doesn't have.
Okay.
On paper, these are the things. Now, you talked about your qualifications for the GOAT status. The mentality of not ducking or whatever. Yeah. I am pushing aside. I will give you that he ducked.
You conceded. Okay. Thank you for conceding that.
I will give you that he ducked Francis Ngannou. I don't look at my GOAT as who they didn't fight. I look at who they did and what they actually did inside of the octagon. It wasn't about who they didn't. It's about what they did. Go ahead.
I am glad you conceded that because that was going to be the easy thing.
There's no way you can't
to get there. Exactly. But I actually want to challenge you on one of your claims. Firstly, let's look at, there's a couple. The double champ, because they're both double champs. Would you agree that Islam double champ is way more impressive than John Jones double champ? We could both agree there, maybe.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's talk about it. This is perfect. So John Jones comes back after 3 years of, I don't want to say loses to Dominic Reyes. I'm going to be correct in this debate. He beats Dominic Reyes in a very competitive fight. Comes back 3 years later, gets gifted, in my opinion, title opportunity against Cyril Gane. Now, another thing you were talking about, the records of John Jones, most title wins, that does come with privilege and not only a skill-based thing. For example, after 3 years...
He walks back into some title fights, right?
Yes. So
but why does he do that?
Because, like I said, for notoriety, popularity, but that doesn't have something to do with overall greatness. Which actually, if you look at the best accolade Islam has, which is his win streak, and you compare it to John Jones' most title wins, you're gonna realize one comes from hard work and actual craft, where other one kind of you could factor in popularity, other things like that. So if you actually compare the two best accolades. If you compare the two best,
when he takes the time off, comes back to best in the sport.
You could say, but he still doesn't earn those spots. He's not earning those spots. You can't get DQ'd against DC or a fight overturned and come back and fight for the title again. That's privilege. Just understand his records
in the ring, in the octagon. He wins that fight as well.
Okay,
we'll go to the roid stuff later.
Yeah, we will talk about that later. But I'm just saying, just understand his best accolades don't only come from skill, but privilege as well. But back to the point about double champ, I want you to understand that. Going up and fighting an easy stylistic matchup like Cyril Gane, who before that fight went against a knockout artist like Francis Ngannou, who was able to execute a grappling game plan and beat him. John Jones took that fight because he understood the risk factor in that fight. Then for his first defense, defending against an old Stipe, whose last fight was years ago and got knocked out by Francis Ngannou, that's not a good win. No offense, that's not good defending your first thing as that.
What did he do?
He beat an old man.
Fight. What did he do?
He beat Cyril Gane. He exploited the grappling deficiency that we saw Francis Ngannou exploit.
But Francis didn't exploit it like that, did he?
Well, Francis Ngannou was not a grappler. He's the knockout artist.
I'm saying, what happened? He subbed him in a minute and a half, right?
Exactly. Okay, so like I said, he's taking an easy stylistic matchup. He's coming back for that.
Who is right now?
He's champion. Well, he's not champion, but
he's the interim champion.
Yeah, he's the interim champion at the heavyweight division. What's your point here?
I'm confused because this is a good win. This is a better win now for Jones, and it's going to age even better depending on what happens in the Tom Aspinall rematch.
Okay, but you got to understand this win came with a stylistic advantage that Jones took. There's a reason Jones took that fight. Okay, no, that's not true. Okay, let's compare the defense.
Not for every fight has stylistic advantages.
Okay, but you just we're on the basis of which double champ.
Is Cyril Gane a better striker than John?
We're on of course he is, but that's not what happened in the fight. But I'm asking you, we're debating right now which is the better double champ resume. So after he beat Cyril Gane, and that had a significant skill gap. If you look at Islam and JDM before the fight, what was JDM being praised for? His scrambling ability, his ability and his boxing as well. So objectively, you would look at that fight like, oh, Dustin Poirier had good scrambles, was able to give Islam a tough fight. He's going to go up and win against JDM. That's a very challenging fight. John Jones doesn't take challenging fights. He doesn't do that. Islam took that. And if you compare the defense, which is very embarrassing because I can't even talk about a 44-year-old Stipe compared to a young up-and-comer like Ian Garry. Don't ever in your life think that this double champ status bump to him are even close. Because at the start of this, you said that, yeah, listen, I don't think so. So now you're going to concede, and I know you will because you know I'm right.
No, well, one, I don't think JDM is the same level of striker as even Ciryl Gane is. I think Ciryl Gane's one of the best strikers in the sport.
I never said that.
Period. Well,
JDM's more well-rounded, but JDM's more well-rounded. We can agree with that.
I don't know that we can agree with it. I don't know that we can because I watched him get dominated in the same way by Islam.
What do you?
Not even in the same way.
Wait, so are you
grappled and then subbed easily?
Okay, so you're trying to say Ciryl Gane
wrestled.
You're trying to say Ciryl Gane is as well-rounded as Jack Della Maddalena because we could go down that.
I think he's just as good a fighter. I don't know about well-rounded. I think he's just as good a fighter. If not, maybe his grappling deficiency or his inability to scramble on the same level is made up for by his striking ability.
Okay, and I also think JDM's a great striker too. But my point is that Islam Makhachev's first double champ fight on paper was stylistically harder than John Jones's, which is true.
Stylistically, I mean, there's so many guys that Islam's stylistically better than because of his grappling ability.
Not really. I think all his fights are a lot more.
He just won a fight last night because of mainly his grappling ability. Big strike in the second round, but mainly his grappling ability.
No, well, yes, I agree that like he won because he's just very talented.
Stylistic advantage.
But
in every fight. In every fight.
Not okay, but I'm saying that Ian Garry objectively is a harder person to defend your double champ status against Stipe Miocic. Sure. Okay, thank you. So why? Okay, so are you accepting the fact that the double champ status of Islam Makhachev is more impressive than going up and beating Ciryl Gane, an easy stylistic matchup, and defending against a 45-year-old man who's a firefighter?
I think the tougher fight there for John was Ciryl Gane than what JDM was to Islam, and I think Ian was a tougher fight for Islam than Stipe was for John by far.
So who has objectively which double champ, which going up in the process of going up and fighting for the champion?
I think we have to also factor in.
Who?
I think we also have to
more impressive?
Age, time out of the sport.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Things that we have to factor in too.
Yes,
John
Stipe's 50
years out of the sport. Stipe came up and won the belt.
Stipe took more.
I'm talking about winning the belt first before we get to Stipe.
Okay, let's talk about it.
That was a massive accomplishment for John. And if again, that win will age better if Ciryl continues to rise throughout the heavyweight rank. If he beats Tom Aspinall, it's crazy. John's resume will still get better. Now, he's not fighting. He hasn't fought for 2 years. His resume still might get better.
But why is he not fighting?
It seems like he's done. Seems like it's over.
Okay, because he can be fighting. He just doesn't want to fight because Tom Aspinall's too hard of a stylistic matchup for him. You know this.
Can he fight? He's got some injuries. He's 39.
We know why he can't fight. We know why he avoided.
He's not 39. He's 41, I think, now.
No,
so
he's 39.
I think he was 39 when he fought last.
No, he's 39, I'm pretty sure.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, John is an older man now.
I mean, every heavyweight's old. DC was 40 when he was fighting John Jones. He's like the same age Jones is right now. Goes back to my narrative that John Jones can't fight people. John Jones can't do what he does to other people. John Jones always has a 6. No, but John Jones, can you explain why John Jones is always 6 years younger than opponents he fights on average out of every single opponent in his resume? But he would never give people like Tom Aspinall
but this isn't what I argued for GOAT. It's giving other people opportunities once you've already accomplished everything. This is why Anderson Silva, by the way, is not in anybody's GOAT conversation anymore. What happened when Anderson stayed around too long? 7 out of 8 losses on his way out.
Yeah.
Does that not affect his GOAT status?
I don't think people actually look at towards the end of your career.
Does it not affect his GOAT status when you talk about the greatest of all time? Because you have to factor in fights. All fights matter.
Of course, not to the same extent. I disagree with that.
They don't have to matter to the same extent, but they matter, especially when you go out 7 out of 8. Same reason Tony Ferguson's not looked at the same when he left the sport.
Ferguson didn't even like hold the title and defend significantly to even
be considered. But you see what I'm saying? At one point, Tony Ferguson and Khabib Nurmagomedov were right here.
Yes, from a matchup.
How do we remember guys now?
Yeah, because Khabib's different. Yes, of course. There's so much nuance there.
Because why? Khabib left the sport very quickly after getting that title.
That has nothing to do with why. That has nothing to do with why.
Did he stay around longer or not?
He didn't need to. He didn't need to.
Okay, so did John need to?
No, I'm not saying John needed to do anything. Okay, I never said John needed to do anything, but we're talking about what he has done. That's what we're talking about. I don't think he needs to do anything. Yes.
Okay.
I'm saying John Jones, like you're looking at John Jones as a resume point of view, you can't even look at him and compare him to like Islam's resume because Islam Makhachev doesn't do things that John Jones does. Like I said, the significant age gap that John Jones
fight,
the significant age. No, they both win fights. I'm saying that if you look at Jon Jones, look at the average age of Jon Jones' opponent. Look at his average age. There's a reason.
Jon was in the UFC way earlier. Yeah,
way younger. Islam Makhachev isn't like Jon Jones. The fact that he could fight.
Jon.
I mean, not really. Like we have people like Joshua Van showing up now and just being young and being great, being young and talented, especially in this modern generation.
Not being young and talented, being young and the best.
That's Joshua Van. There's people I could look at right now who are very similar.
Jon Jones was 23 years old as a world champion.
Yes, Van's 24.
But you see what I mean? Jon was in the UFC since he was 21? Might have been 20.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's like he was young and in the best league in the world.
I understand this.
He wasn't fighting in, let's be honest, some organizations that Team Habib were fighting in before the UFC.
What do you mean Team Habib? We're talking about Islam. Be specific.
They were fighting in organizations where there's some matchups that were very interesting.
What is
the? They didn't have anywhere near the same level of competitiveness.
What's your angle? How do you know? How do you know? What's the significance there? We could look at Conor McGregor's the record of his opponents before he came to the UFC. You could look at Joe Alvarez and you could look at anyone in the UFC. Dricus Du Plessis. Exactly. We can look at anyone in the UFC. We can look at the worst or the best people in the UFC. I'm just saying, look at the worst people in the UFC. Look at the best. Name me anyone in the UFC prior to they fought people with great records. What you're saying right now is such a faulty. Yeah, move the goalpost because that was a faulty narrative. I hate when people say that.
Jon is in the UFC early. He's in the best league in the world early.
Yes,
so he has nowhere to the experience he gains is against the best.
Yes, he's an athletic specimen. He's blessed. I'll give him that. Yes, he's very blessed. I don't know what you're saying.
John's the worst athlete in that family, and you've seen him do athletics.
I'm talking about fighting.
Outside of fighting, he's not great.
Outside of fighting doesn't mean anything to me.
Watch him shoot a jump shot.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about fighting. Of course, I'm talking about fighting.
You tell me an athletic specimen. All right.
He has high exertions. I do too. That's athletic. That's an athletic trait. But
you've seen him jump. He can't dunk. He's 6'4", can't dunk.
You know what I'm talking about? A physicality standpoint, having the longest reach in UFC history while he was still active. Sure. You know, being lanky,
tall for the division. For sure.
Yes. So I'm just like want you to understand that he was blessed on a physicality standpoint. I'm not saying I want him to not be blessed. I don't even try to twist my words.
What you want to say though is that Jon always had an advantage.
Yes.
Which again is always the same for the greats. Islam always has an advantage.
What is Islam?
Always does.
Okay, but here's the difference. Here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. I'll tell you the difference. The difference between their advantages is that Jones was blessed with it. He was born. You don't just be. You're not born. You're not okay. Genetics. You're not letting me. You're not letting me finish. Yeah, genetics. Every one of them are skilled. Like we know, Jon Jones and Islam are skilled, but we know there's some physicality advantages that Jon Jones had majority of his career in contrast to Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev can actually go there against people who are 6 years younger than him, like Ian Garry, who are one of the best people in the world right now, and he could beat them. He could beat them, and he could go against people like Charles Oliveira with a very decorated BJJ background and submit them. He could go against Volkanovski, outstrike him, knock them out. He could go against the best strikers, outstrike them, the best grapplers, outgrapple them, because he's a very talented individual. Which leads me to the narrative. Not really, not to the extent that Islam did against.
Sure he did.
Who's the best BJJ practitioner that Jon Jones has submitted, and why is it more impressive than Charles Oliveira? It's not.
Probably, you can't. I would say probably Vitor, maybe.
Yeah, you could check as much as you want. It's not. Victor is nowhere near the caliber of Charles Oliveira in the submission. I'm just saying.
You asked me the question. Is Vitor.
Exactly, and I'm telling you, you can't find anyone notable. Victor Belfort's BJJ compared to Charles. Be realistic. Come on, man.
But we're talking. Show me anybody on the resume of Islam Makhachev that has the accomplishments and the accolades in their division, not in the lower division of a Daniel Cormier.
I think Daniel Cormier is the one person on his resume that's the most notable.
And I'm going to argue later for 2 wins.
I could actually say that I don't know why. Wait, hold on. Why you subjected me to not say Volkanovski by saying only in his division when Daniel Cormier fought a heavyweight? But Daniel Cormier fought a heavyweight too. Like he was someone who started actually at heavyweight and went down to light heavyweight. So you can't try to constrict me. You can't try to constrict me there and say that.
You mean I can make sure that you know that the guy he beat and is what is I guess considered
Volkanovski's a better win than Daniel Cormier.
55er.
Volkanovski's best win.
I disagree.
Volkanovski's a better win than. No, we could say it's a 45er. He could go up in 140. He could go up to 155 and have competitive fights. That's still Islam's most competitive fight. So what's your point of saying 145 is not good? Like I don't get that. That's a horrible import.
It's the same thing you said about Jon Jones earlier.
That's not what I said about Jon Jones earlier.
No, when you said that people get gifted opportunities when they move up or when they have these different fights. Islam got gifted an opportunity at 70 without fighting in the division, and so did Volkanovski.
No, that's not what I see. That's you're twisting my words.
No,
I didn't say he gets
gifted. I
said no. I said John Jones. I said after 3-year layoff, you can't come back and go up a weight class and win it. Let me tell you. I'm gonna explain why. Let me explain the difference because that was a horrible attempt by you. The difference is Islam Makhachev didn't beat the whole division, then take 3 years off and come back. It's like, you know what? Who's the welterweight champion? Give me who? Islam?
Yeah, before he got to the belt.
Why would he need to if he was still active and dominating everyone's weight class and cleared his division? He cleared his division and he was active. Was John Jones active when he got the Ceragon title shot? Yes or no?
I don't know what does he deserve the 70 shot if we're talking about just
yes, he does.
Without fighting in the weight class.
Yes, he does. How does that like you're trying?
It's the same argument you made for John.
It's not the same argument. Why? Okay, tell me right now. Yeah, why you saying wiped out? He was coming off a controversial win against Dominic Reyes. Do your research, please. And then he took 3 years off.
Entire division. He wiped out 3 generations.
I'm saying before he went up to heavyweight, he had a very controversial fight against Dominic Reyes, and then he took 3 years off because he had to get his mind right. Like, oh my god, I lost, and I know I lost. I'm nervous to come back. And then he came back for an easy stylistic matchup against Ceragon. You know exactly that's so different from you know that's different. You know that's different than Islam Makhachev.
The division, he wiped out the generation.
You're gonna get clowned, bro. You're gonna get clowned in the comments.
Why? Because
even comparing. No, for comparing Islam Makhachev's activity and saying he didn't deserve to move up. Or
I didn't compare his activity. John's activity was insane while he was active at 205. But the fact that you tried to say John got gifted a title shot and
that was gifted. That was
without going through the division, without competing against anybody.
That's not what I said. I said he was inactive.
That's the only reason you could. That's the only reason you
listen to my words right now. He was inactive. He was inactive off a controversial win. What do you mean it doesn't matter?
Needed to be for him to get to
okay, let me explain something to you. When you're not around for 3 so if Islam Makhachev after he beat whatever his last win Moicano, perfect example, takes 3 years off, whatever, comes back, say Morale who Shavkat champion, it was not like, okay, Islam comes back, jumps the weight class, and just gets a shot against Shavkat or whoever the hell's champion in 3 years because we don't know. Things shift. By then, it might be Shavkat. No, sorry, protest is up. You got to wait your turn. Go up in 170, get a number one contender. What does it matter? It's privilege. That's what it matters. And you're trying to compare that Islam. You're trying to.
Anybody
it doesn't happen often.
But anybody that did it was privileged. Like if
it doesn't happen often. Tell me why it doesn't happen.
Come back and win and won a title shot. It's privileged. George St. Pierre won 85 after time off, privileged.
Yes.
All this stuff's privileged, but
yes, it's privileged.
Not time off, it's not privileged.
That I don't know what's so confusing about that.
The privilege is you're not fighting anyone in the division. That's the privilege, not the time off.
Coming back and fighting a title coming back and fighting a title fight after a controversial win is privilege. After 3 years plus off, yes, that's privilege. I hope you understand.
That's the privilege.
Well, of course you don't, because you're a John Jones fan. You think John Jones can do whatever he wants and comes back and just gets rewarded anything. That's what you think.
That's privilege, and 70 without fighting anybody in the division is also not privileged.
Okay, I'll explain why. Because Islam Makhachev was active. He cleared out his division, and he wasn't coming off no controversial. Wasn't coming off any controversial. Wasn't coming off any controversial win. He finished Moicano. I wanted to see him rematch Dominic Reyes like everyone did right after.
So Dominic, but
he didn't.
He beats Dominic again, and then it's not privileged.
I mean, that's how it works. If you have a very competitive fight that everyone's saying was a robbery,
he's got a double win.
You can laugh it off like Dominic Reyes and John Jones was a wipe off, like an easy fight for Jones when everyone in the world knows the truth of that fight. Okay, you can think he won. I don't care what you. Yeah, he won the fight on paper. So I'm not gonna. No, I just said I'm not gonna argue with what because on facts he won the fight, but everyone knows what that fight was.
This is why I don't argue Islam and Volk won, because Islam won.
I mean, that was a pretty obvious fight to call.
Close fight. That was a close fight.
It was a close fight with a clear winner. It was a close fight with a clear winner, though.
I don't know. I don't know if it was clear.
I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you don't.
It was a competitive fight. So you're only gripe.
We can get off this because this is so obvious. People are gonna laugh at this afterwards.
I'm sure they will. It's your Twitter followers. It's the kids that are in the sport now that weren't here 10 years ago. I'm sure they don't.
I was here 10 years ago. I was watching.
You were not here 10 years ago.
Of course I was.
This is John's career that people didn't see. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes you have to go back and see the things you didn't see, because everybody wants to live in the greatest generation. Everybody wants to live during the GOAT generation. This is why I try to cling to LeBron James as the GOAT, but the realistic option here is Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Okay, we're not doing this right now.
But it's true. He is, and I don't want to think it myself, but it's true. The accolades speak for themselves. But you said John's privileged. Okay, that's
yes, we know
you
this.
You can hold that fact. That's not true to me, but you can hold that. Okay. What else would you like to go over? That you said Islam. You wanted to poke other holes in John's resume.
Yes, I think Islam Makhachev has a better resume objectively than John Jones. I think he beat better opponents who are on a more impressive win streaks and better name value wise. And I feel like John Jones has some.
What do you mean name value wise?
Like, I feel like when I say name value, I'm like, when you look at the opponents that John Jones beats, start to look at the fights they had prior, you're going to realize a lot of those guys were on like 2 fight win streaks, a fight win streak, maybe win some, lose some. Maybe the most probably got 4 or 5 fight win streak. While if you look at Islam Makhachev, you're going to see people like Volkanovski who have the top 12 longest win streaks in UFC history with 12 wins, or Charles Oliveira who's in the top 15 longest win streaks in UFC history. You're going to start to see a normal occurrence that Islam Makhachev fights the best. At all,
or just his win streak? Do you take Charles' full career or no?
So I see. We're gonna talk about aged wins in a bit, but I want to stay on like the current, like John Jones, who he fought, and yes, the time they fought. Let's talk about that first, and then we could move the goalpost. But I'm sure if we talk about,
but you just
we could go to a next point. Yes, we could resume. But I'm saying right now, when Islam fights these guys, they are on more impressive win streaks. So name value wise, they are therefore more impressive wins, which actually makes the point that Islam's resume is more impressive than John Jones. Correct?
I disagree. I think that John's championship level at the time, and we're going to have this conversation at some point, so we might as well do it now.
Okay.
I guess people are going to look and say, "Oh, he fought a bunch of 85ers," which I don't even know where that narrative came from. The 85ers that John fought. Most of the champions he fought are 205-pound champions, either at the time he fought them or previously, or actually later on, which is even crazier for John Jones. But no, I think that the champions that John fought, whether it was Teixeira, whether it was Machida, whether it was Rampage Jackson, whether it was Lewis, whether it was
horrible names, man. Like
they're
good.
Names.
No, they're good name value wise.
Name value wise.
No, I said the names sound great. The names sound great, but like I said, we're talking about like the context of when they fought him. And like Rampage, what, a 2 fight win streak or something, 1 fight win streak? Great. Like that's so badass. Let's be real.
There was some competition at the time for sure.
That's the point I'm trying to make you at. Like Islam doesn't fight people like that often. Islam beats the best people at the best time of their life.
Wouldn't it be more competitive if more people don't have win streaks at the time?
No, I disagree. No, I'm gonna explain why.
Wouldn't the entirety of the division be more competitive if we don't have these massive long wins?
No, because people like Charles Oliveira, it would be one thing if Charles was beating Joe Schmo, but I see Charles win streak against Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. You could say that these fighters, oh well, you can't have a win streak if they're good. That doesn't mean anything though, because as long as you're beating very talented opposition, and then before you fight the person you're fighting against, it does. I think Max Holloway's talented. I think Yair Rodriguez is talented. I think Justin Poirier is talented. I think Justin Gaethje is talented. I think a lot of people are going to agree with me in that sense. So the point of the matter is he's beating these people on long win streaks who are actually beating talented people in the win streaks, which makes his win and his resume a lot better.
Cheetah's talented. I think Rampage Jackson's talented.
Okay, so let's
name who is talented. I think.
Okay, so start naming. Okay, so start naming some good resumes. Name some wins. Name some wins from them. Name some wins from them.
Gustafson's talented.
Name some wins from them. Name some wins for them.
What do you mean? Everybody in there's divisions. You have at the time you have Rampage Jackson taking down the man and Chuck Liddell. I mean, that's a massive win at the time. What are we not going to? Yeah, are we not going to recognize?
I love it, man.
Are we not going to recognize these wins?
Bro, Rampage did not beat Rampage did not beat a prime Chuck Liddell. But I see what you're trying to do, right?
I just don't like he's the man at the time. I don't know.
It's funny as hell because he wasn't the man at the time when Rampage beat him.
And Henderson, that's a massive win.
Yeah, I'm glad. No, wins. Let me tell you why this is a good thing. I want to tell you why this
was a big win at the time.
This is a great thing to have a conversation for, because people watching are going to start to understand.
Actually,
holy crap!
Pride as well. I forgot about that.
They're going to realize. Holy crap! Like, when you actually look at the people Jones was beating, none of them were really on a crazy win streak. Yes, name value wise, they sound like their names.
These are tough.
You're saying like they're gonna be like, oh my god, the names sound great, but if you actually look at them, the couple fights prior to fighting Jones, it wasn't like they're the world beaters. Whereas you actually look at Islam's resume, you're gonna realize, oh my god, those were world beaters who went up against Islam and get dismantled in a round or two, or get knocked out. I mean, that's when you're gonna start to realize I am correct when I say Islam's resume is better.
They're beating each other in the same way.
I know why you're saying they're beating each other in the same way. What are you talking about?
Dustin Poirier is not a world beater.
I was talking about Charles Oliveira and Volkanovski specifically on the win streaks.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Daniel Cormier is a world beater. Yeah, sure.
The thing is
he not?
I like Daniel Cormier, but like I really do like Daniel Cormier. one of my favorite fighters. Daniel Cormier is not a better win than Volkanovski.
I think he is.
So sorry.
Especially because
I know you.
I know
you think he is. Okay, you could try to make that and try to equate that if you're from a lower weight class, it equates to you being worse. But we've seen from Islam. Okay, let's eliminate this narrative right now, guys. If you're from a lower weight class and you go up in a weight class and you win it or you lose, it doesn't make you worse. There's something called Ladderman. There's something called Ladderman skill.
Make you a 55 either.
If you actually look at the recent trend in UFC, the people who are from the lower weight classes, like Robert Whittaker going up to light heavyweight, or you look at anybody, Paulo Costa, look at anybody, you're gonna actually start to realize people who go up from weight tend to be better than the weight class above. So stop with that narrative. It's embarrassing. I mean, ask Islam, ask Ilia Topuria, ask some of these other people. Oh, you're mad, but I brought up. You said
everybody.
They have to be talented, of course. They have to be talented to win a title.
Where's the big examples of title winners?
Alex Pereira. Like, come on, yo, guys, get him out of here, bro. Get him out of here. Yeah.
What happened?
Bro, of course not, because he got 3 weight classes. Come out to 2. Come on, guys. I'm cooking him. I'm cooking him. That's a 2 weight class jump. That's a 2 weight class jump. We're talking about a weight class jump. Now you're trying to move the goalpost and move it. My point is, you're trying to look at Volk and saying, oh, but he's a 45. That's not a talent. That's not as good as a win, because when you go up in weight, you're less talented, which is a horrible narrative. People who actually go up in weight are more impressive statistically from what I've been seeing. So I disagree with that claim.
Statistically from what you've been seeing.
Yes, I mean, look at Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa. Look at Kennedy Nzechukwu. That's the thing. You don't watch UFC as much as I do. You don't watch UFC as much as I do, so you don't understand that it's not just in the title level. There's more people who go up in weight and win. Everyone knows Ladderman skills are a real thing. Yeah, you can try to
win, and that matters, but it's not a top 5 win. It's not a top 10 win.
Paulo Costa beat a top 5 ranked opponent in Azamat Murzakanov as a middleweight.
Sure, now that's great, but let's see a title win.
But you just said top 5. You just said top 5 win. I named a top 5 win. Now you're saying, oh, but title win. Then I named Alex Pereira, Islam Makhachev, and Ilia Topuria, and then you'd be like, oh, well, those don't count because those are too good. So you got to make up your mind. What else do I have to name? I'll name everything on the planet.
What happened when Ilia kept trying to fight at 55?
So now you're trying to say, okay, but Ilia won one, but then he lost one. So therefore, Ilia, come on, bro.
Against the guy that wasn't supposed to beat him, against the guy that was not considered a great 55er.
Justin Gaethje's a great 55er.
Wasn't even supposed to be in there.
Justin Gaethje's a great fighter. Stop it. Justin Gaethje's a great fighter.
He is now. Yeah, I agree.
What do you mean now? What do you mean now? When he knocked out Dustin Poirier, he wasn't a great fighter?
He wasn't.
Stop it, bro. Stop it.
He wasn't a champion. He was an interim.
No one said he was the greatest. You just said he wasn't a great fighter. Now you're trying to say, but he's not the greatest. I never said he was the greatest. I said he's a great fighter.
So you went into that fight going, Justin Gaethje's about to win this.
No, I went to that fight saying he can make it like Justin Gaethje thrives in dogfights. I know Justin Gaethje's a great fighter. You're the one who said he's not a great fighter prior to that fight. Prior to that fight, a lot of people would disagree with that, saying Justin Gaethje wasn't great prior to that fight. Yeah,
I think he's a top 5 guy, top 6 guy, and then of course you win the belt. You're the guy. It's what it is.
Man, you're getting torched, Wade. Come on, man, fight back, bro.
I was gonna say, I think that your wins are based off two people.
No, it's not. It's not, because we can start looking at. Yeah, but I could keep going, unfortunately. But I don't. I feel like I'm overkilling. All right, Ian Garry. Ian Garry. That's a higher weight class. Because you remember how you said. Yeah, but remember how you said it's like when you go up in a weight class, it's too different. It's hard. It's not possible. Well, I guess
it was a tough fight for Islam. He held on to him in those last rounds and didn't really strike with him at all.
Outstruck. Had the biggest moment in the striking.
Outstruck him.
Had the biggest moment in the striking.
But he outstruck him.
No, he didn't. But he had the biggest moment in the striking. So I think I think it's very impressive.
He landed 0 significant strikes in the 5th round. 0.
He had his back. It's very hard to land significant strikes when you have someone's back.
In the 4th round.
How much significant strikes do you see people get from the back position?
It wasn't the greatest fight for Islam. He got it done.
I actually disagree. I think that fight showed that Islam could go in there with someone who is younger than him by 6 years, something Jones has never done. Go in there with someone who is longer, rangier, more talented, naturally not big.
Why is he more talented?
More talented in the sense that, not even more talented. I don't like the way I phrased that, but like physically more gifted. I like that was a better choice of words. As far as length, reach.
What is the advantage of Ian being longer and rangy?
Well, if you watch the fight, you realize it actually helped him a lot in the defensive. Well, I could answer that so easily. If you watch the fight, you're gonna see his long extremities actually helped him force scrambles that Islam Makhachev wasn't used to going against, because it was the first time Islam Makhachev wrestled someone who was 6'3" above. So Islam was actually struggling a lot of those scrambles instances.
What were the rangy parts of his scrambles that were?
Okay, so what he would do is when Islam would grab a single leg, he would use his arms and reach in between Islam's legs, and you force a scramble while his legs were kind of bented in very weird angles. And Islam Makhachev, Volkanovski's 5'4".
That's just technique.
So
Volk being
just as good, if not better. I think Volk people that's an opinion thing, but I think he had an easier time, especially early, controlling Volk.
How many
and, placing him
takedowns
somewhere.
did Islam land on Volk?
In
the first fight.
I don't think the second fight even touched any, but like not much. But I do remember when he actually got a hold of Volk, he did a good job. He did a good job.
Ian?
That doesn't matter. He had an easier time controlling Volk when he actually got him down. So that's the difference. I think that's the most important. I mean, look at the round when Volk got his back taken for the entirety of the round.
Did he have more control time on Ian or Volk?
He had more control time on Ian in the sense of against the fence, but as far as on the ground, as far as on their back, Volk was controlled more on the ground. But against the fence, Ian Garry was on the fence more. But even on the fence, Ian Garry was actually landing more strikes in my opinion. So there goes that.
Ian Garry landed more strikes just on the fence. That's
like on the.
Not obviously.
I mean, not much happened, and I don't know if you watched the fight. Not much happened on like the actual face-to-face, except Ian Garry standing there and not really throwing obliques that he should have been doing. I think Ian Garry had a slightly poor game plan. I think
Ian Garry should have went to the body more.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah, Islam landed 7 takedowns on Ian Garry. 7. Landed
That's
4
a misleading stat because it points to the narrative that like he was controlling.
He landed 4 on Volk. So
yep.
My entire point is this height, reach, frame advantage isn't necessarily an advantage. And
so you're saying
that maybe it's easier to deal with than a smaller grounded fighter that's harder to take down with less center of gravity.
That's not true.
So the numbers show it's true.
No, the numbers don't show it's true. This is what you're missing. Islam Makhachev's more. This is what you're missing. Islam Makhachev's actually more accustomed to grappling and succeeding against people who are around his frame and his height or shorter statistically. Now, what you're seeing with the Ian Garry fight, you're seeing the takedown stats, and you're trying to point it to like, oh, he took him down more times, therefore it was easier to
control him more.
You're mistaking control time because you're a stat reader. Because right now you actually have something in front of your screen. I have nothing in front of my screen but a monitor. By the way, in your face.
I got you on Twitter.
No, you have. I see you reading the records, gang. I'm not crazy, but
I'm not reading records. I have my Google Doc of like.
Bro, of course you have. I don't have that. I don't need that.
Well, I gotta make sure I have John's stats to.
But my point is, you're looking at the 7 takedowns.
It's very difficult to keep up with all of them.
You're looking at the 7 takedowns, and you're like, oh my god, he took him down 7 times, therefore it's easier. But if you actually look at the scrambling, but he controlled him against the fence, and even against the fence, it wasn't an easy against the fence control time because Islam Makhachev was getting punched in the face and actually outstruck majority of the time.
Right.
Had him against the fence. So it actually wasn't easier to scramble with Ian Garry compared to his other opponents. It's actually very much the latter, and he's now
against Volk though is what I was saying because he's 5'4" or 5'5".
So I guess only Volk, but like I said, he controlled Volk pretty well in that fight.
Not as easily as he controlled Ian though, right?
On the ground, he controlled Volk easier. Yes. On the fence, he controlled Ian Garry easier. You could laugh, but it's true.
I mean, the control time speaks for itself. It's fine.
Yeah, the control time registers the clinch in the fence, but we know that. I know that at least.
It registers the clinch?
Yes, you didn't know that? You didn't know control time registers clinch?
Standing in the middle, it registers the clinch. If 2 dudes are in the clinch, one guy has control time?
So if you watch the fight, you would know the clinch was majority on the fence, but you're trying to rage bait. But you're trying. At least you're trying.
I'm not.
If I was getting cooked, I'll do it too.
Sure.
If I was getting cooked, I'd say it too, baby.
And I'm making sure.
Come on now.
Accurate with what you're saying. You say these
I mean, is the clinch not? Can you not clinch against the fence? Did you like?
You can hold someone against the fence.
They're in the clinch there.
If someone is on the fence,
that is the clinch. That is the clinch.
They're clinching their opponent as well.
Yes, it is.
With their hands not attached, they're clinching their opponent.
I mean, hands were definitely attached.
That's a clinch.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we'll see. Comment section.
I mean, you can say that you're getting cooked in the debate. You have not made a valid point so far.
I have.
Like,
I told you.
You haven't made a valid point. You haven't made one. Not even a single one. Right now we're talking about resume, right? And you're getting torched on the resume.
I don't think I am. You said John was gifted to get a shot at heavyweight when Islam was gifted the same shot.
Are you still on the gift? That's a matter of opinion. Like, come on, bro.
Well, that's the point. No,
you just. So I get it. You think Jones could take 3 years off after a controversial win and come back and get a title shot? Okay, that's an opinion thing. That's not a good point.
You also said he got gifted Cyril Gane. I don't know who else he should have fought at heavyweight at that point because it was only him and Cyril.
I'm not saying Jones. I'm saying Jones even getting that opportunity to be put up against Cyril Gane after having a controversial win in the light heavyweight last fight at light heavyweight was a gift. And we could disagree. We could agree to disagree. That's not a valid point to prove that Islam Jones is greater.
Then it's
Jones
not.
That's not a. But tell me how that describes Jones being greater than Islam. You can't. Whereas I'm actually looking at the resume and analyzing the win streaks of Islam Makhachev's people he fought, and you're actually looking at yours. And when we did that, it wasn't even close. This is why this is not a close debate.
2 guys with win streaks.
There's more people with win streaks. Like I said, I wasn't finished. Ian Garry, Jack De La Maddalena had a great win streak prior to that fight.
Okay.
I believe it's a 6-7 fight. That's more than anyone Jones has even fought too. We can keep going. Like, I'm not done. And then, like I said, Ian Garry stylistically is more talented. He's talented, very much.
So what do we say where he's at right now at 70? You think he's a top 5 guy at 70?
Of course. Okay. I think you're underestimating the skill of Carlos Prates if you think that.
I'm not underestimating. I'm just wondering because there's young killers there, and I wonder about Morales. I think there's going to be some shake-up in that division.
I think Morales is a very good one-round fighter from what I've seen, but like until I see this guy in a championship fight like Jack Della Maddalena against Balon.
So if Maddalena continues to lose,
okay,
is that fight still as impressive? You still give that fight credence?
That's an interesting question. Because I'll say this.
Ciryl Gane's, and I'm only using Ciryl Gane because we're talking about the win at heavyweight and the win at 170. Ciryl Gane has actually gotten better since John beat him.
I agree. No, I'll give Jones credit. Like his great wins against Anthony Smith, OSP, and Dominic Reyes. Like they aged beautifully. Yeah, back to JDM.
Do we fight the guys in front of us or do we not?
I'm just saying, like, don't ever talk about age win with John Jones ever. But I'm gonna say this about JDM.
What do you mean? What about?
Don't ever talk about age wins. For the like I said, there's some diamonds. There's some diamonents. There's some diamonds in the rough.
There's some. Hold on. Let me.
There's some diamonds in the rough.
Diamonds in the rough. Let me make.
Who did Glover? Okay, go ahead.
Glover Teixeira.
It's gonna be
when
funny.
He fought John Jones, how old was he?
He was like 36 probably or something like that.
Yeah, he's 35. And you know what everybody said? He's washed. Oh, they were doing the thing you did. Oh, he came over too late in the UFC. He was way better before he got here. And then John beat him. And everybody went, well, there's another one, right? There's another former guy that John. And then all of a sudden, Glover Teixeira gets his shot in 2022? Was that 7 years later?
Very, very recently. The oldest champ ever. Like it was a crazy
42
accolade.
Years old?
Yeah, a crazy accolade. And
then he got
then gets destroyed by Jamal Hill with no legs. But I'll give him credit. Like he's like,
but wait a second.
That's the thing about John Jones.
Is that not a great aged win?
I mean, we can look at
7 years before he gets the belt.
You can't compare age wins with Islam because if you actually look, I'll tell you why. Because if you look at majority of Jones' age wins, like Dominic Reyes, OSP, Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos. By the way, he's taking all these guys to decision. Dominic Reyes' decision.
Anthony Smith. Older.
I know Anthony Smith.
He's been in the UFC for a long time.
He's a little bit older, guys. When he said he's a little bit older, he was 30 years old when he fought Dominic Reyes, but that's so old.
He's a little bit older.
Islam Makhachev is 34. This guy doesn't even know who John Jones is. Like I said, John Jones, I'll give him so much credit. He's so used to going against people when he has 6 years advantage over them. But when he goes against someone like Reyes, who's the same age as him, same height as him, against Gustin the first time, when he's first time going against someone 6'5", he's like, holy shit. When I'm not wicked, when I'm not wicked, or when I'm so much older than them, when they're older than me, it's different. But when I'm actually around their age, niggas taking fucking Anthony Smith the decision. We're talking Anthony Smith. Chat, no, we're talking Anthony Smith, chat. Y'all don't even get it, bro. I'm blown, bro. Yeah, he's a little bit older, 29. Yeah, he's old. Yeah, we're talking Anthony Smith. We're talking Anthony Smith against a 29-year-old John Jones, baby.
Been in the UFC for
Get him out of here, bro. It's disgusting.
Everybody has stinkers.
Well, multiple.
Everybody has stinkers.
Against people you should be finishing. Anthony Smith is actually Anthony Smith is the hardest person not to finish.
You want to know what he didn't do? He didn't hit the canvas out cold either.
You know something Islam never did? Anabolic steroids. So I guess we're on a standstill.
You want to go in there?
I know, like, of course I know you have this ready. Of course I know you have that ready.
Let's just talk about it really quick.
We're getting torched, though. Can we talk about that? I want to talk about that.
That's fine. Can we at least acknowledge that Islam got knocked out in the UFC?
Okay, Islam got knocked out in his second professional fight in the UFC. Like, what do you want me to say?
It wasn't a second professional fight. He got knocked
second fight
out
in the
UFC. Okay.
So you want me to applaud? Like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say to that?
Point. John never even.
He has a loss on his record from a DQ. He's lost on his record for DQ.
What was the DQ?
Illegal strikes. I mean, Jones likes to do illegal stuff.
Talk about the Matt Hamill fight.
He likes to do illegal stuff and get stuff, which is why you're gonna look at Islam. Which is why you're gonna look at John Jones. You're gonna realize he has no record that has consecutive in front of it. Have you noticed that he doesn't have a record for consecutive anything, consecutive tower defenses, wins, or anything, because he can't do things consecutively without cheating. Facts.
Is there any rule change since John Jones?
USADA. So here's the thing.
No, this isn't here's the thing. We're not talking about.
So what?
We're talking about the 12-6 rule.
Yes, the rule changed. So what's your point? So let me tell you something, Wade.
John lost for being too violent in a violence contest.
Okay, so Wade,
John lost for being too good at fighting in a fighting contest.
This is because I knew you were going to say. So let me explain something to you.
John,
so Wade, if it was illegal,
too violent,
if it was illegal to shoot. Okay, I don't want to do something cheap. If it was illegal to jaywalk.
Got a gun?
No. If it was illegal to jaywalk, right? And you jaywalked and got arrested. 10 years later, it's legal to jaywalk. You jaywalk, you can do it freely. If you knowingly do something when it's illegal and get punished, it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's 50 years later. If you do it and now it's legal, you're not going to be like, well, let's let's go back in time and act like it wasn't legal. It doesn't matter. You got disqualified for doing something you shouldn't be doing. Point blank period is a loss on your record. So don't talk about Islam's fluke loss.
I think Makhachev got suspended like a couple of years later.
You can talk about it. Doesn't change the fact. Well, you can say that, but he actually threw the 12-6 elbows, and we both saw that. So why are you trying to move the goalpost now?
I mean, the 12-6, it's a very variable argument. The 12-6.
No, but that was very blatantly a 12-6. That was blatantly 12-6.
But did he land on the back of the head or anything? No, it was like face up.
It doesn't have to land. No, it doesn't have to land on the back of the head.
There
were illegal strikes. Period. No, there were illegal strikes.
People throwing the same strikes that weren't being disqualified at the time.
So we can admit that Jones did an illegal thing that when it was illegal at the time, but you still want to say it shouldn't count. Get out of here.
I don't know if it was illegal at the time. I think it was still very.
It was
variable.
It was 12-6 were quite literally illegal at the time.
But what John did, I still don't know if it.
It's very. There's something very
raking elbows.
I'm seeing a common occurrence when you're just seeing things that are happening, but you want to decide to see something different to fit your agenda.
I think 12-6 has always been subjective, depending on how you throw.
That was like
where it lands.
The funny thing about that video is like it's actually one of the things that people use to show what a 12-6 is.
Funny enough, 12-6 was. Do you understand how the 12-6 rule came into place?
I understand how the 12-6 rule came into place, but I'll let you explain it to us.
No, go ahead.
I'll let you explain it to us. Yeah,
go ahead.
Explain it to us.
Big John says that the 12-6 came into place because the meeting when they were going over the rule set for MMA and adopting the unified rule set, they needed to adopt between different states. They all needed to come together under a unified rule set because every state had different rules on all the different strikes and what was legal and not legal. Big John says in the meeting, they were really worried about elbows or things coming straight down on top of the head like they had seen in karate movies.
Okay.
And they thought they were killing blows from karate movies they had seen. Bruce Lee films.
So you're trying to say it was a bad rule, but it was still in force. Okay, we can move on.
It's a terrible rule.
It was still in force. I'm so sorry.
John should have this expunged from his record.
You're saying should, but he did it when it was illegal and is not going to change the fact that he did it while it was illegal.
But he also wasn't knocked out cold on the canvas.
Oh, they both have one loss. I think losses have nuance and context. I think if you think they do too, you're gonna understand. If you think you do it too, you're gonna understand that he wasn't outskilled. He wasn't outmatched. He wasn't outmatched in that fight. He got caught. You're not gonna look at Leon Edwards head kick Usman and be like, oh my god, Leon Edwards head kicked Usman. He's so much better. That guy's not good.
It was, but they both have a loss. Do the losses have?
Yeah, they had loss. Of course, the losses have nuance, but they both have a loss professionally.
Who had the worst loss then?
That's subjective. That's a subjective opinion. I can say whatever. I can say whatever I want right now, and it wouldn't be wrong. I can say the guy who illegally tried to kill someone should have deserved the loss.
In a violent sport where we reward violence,
they don't reward every violence though because they ban things like stomps and other things to stop it. So stop it. There's things that are banned you can't do.
Was there someone that received violence or gave violence for the loss? Who was?
At the end of the day, they both have a loss. So if that's your ultimate thing, that's John Jones and Islam's not to go because he has a loss on his resume. It's not going to matter. You see that? Yeah, you conceded because you have no option. You have no option because you're getting cooked.
I mean, this is basic stuff here.
No, but if
Islam let me tell you something. Loss. It's okay to concede sometimes.
Okay, but the reason I can't, the reason I would never
look a lot worse.
It doesn't because the reason because your whole base is on Jones being the GOAT because Islam has a one loss on his resume. Because you're saying part of it, but you have failed to prove me his resume is better. So you went to this. Oh, but the loss.
His competition at the time because there's not win streaks doesn't mean the competition's worse.
So you haven't, but you haven't justified it. You haven't justified that claim.
7 champions on his, 8 champions on his resume, not 7.
Okay, being a champion isn't the end all be all because there's people like Jamal Hill who are champ. No, there's not. There's been people like Bilal Muhammad who had 0 title defenses. Let me explain something to you. There's certain things about.
Don't go bad on him.
I love Bilal, and I'm not cooking Bilal here. My thing. And what I'm saying is, okay, stop. Okay, here we go. Here's my thing. Trying to act like if someone has like Rua, for example, was a champion for a day or a fight and then lost to Jones and stuff. There's people who win the belt, and I'll give them credit. That people, this is what every champion says. Winning the belt's the easy thing. That's what champions say. Defending it repeatedly and staying on the top of the food chain is the hard part. I'm glad Jones is beating some of these guys like Gustin, who never
like 12 title defenses. That'd be a hard.
Yeah, against nobodies. But against
you just said staying on top of the. How many against people does Islam got?
He has, I believe, he has 4 in lightweight, and he has 1 in.
He has 5.
5 in lightweight, and he has 1 in
So
welterweight.
By your logic, would it be difficult to be on top of the mountain for 12 title defenses?
No, but I think context matters because Islam's doing it in a division where, like I said, they have killers, they have better people. He has a better resume. He's going against better name value, better skilled opponents.
Even if you believe that, Even if you believe that.
You're saying believe that's a fact.
That's not even half of the same. Title
defense. It doesn't matter because, like I'm saying, you're looking at title defenses as the end all be all. That's not the case.
No, you just said I looked at titles as the end all be all. Now I'm
titles in general. A win streak's more impressive than even title things. Title things. Okay, I think 12 title which is more in itself? Okay, I love this. I love this. So which is more? Which record? Which record is the most impressive? Islam's consecutive 17 wins or John Jones's title wins?
16 title wins. Yeah. John's.
Okay, so you know how earlier we were explaining that title wins can come with privilege. Title fights in general come with privilege. Like for example, Alex Pereira, who's been in the UFC for probably like less than 2-3 years, has probably one of the most title fights in UFC history.
And he's one win away from being the GOAT, by the way.
Okay, to me, he just lost, same logic. So not anymore. But
he was one win away from
if he beat Cyril Gane. Yeah, if he beat Cyril Gane, that would be interesting. He was 1 win away. But like that's my point is like there's privilege.
Gotta beat Tom as well.
There's privilege that comes with that opportunity. You know, like
Same
it wasn't like
Islam, correct.
Yes, Islam doesn't have that privilege. He was on a 10-fight win streak before his title fight. He was on a 10-fight win streak before his title fight. Pereira was on a 2.
Didn't you say 3. This was subjective?
So okay, let's ask the audience which is more impressive, a 10-fight win streak before a title fight or 2. But that's not the point. We could argue that. But my point is title wins in general, they have privilege behind it rather than whereas Islam's win streak doesn't have privilege because he had to earn his way to the title.
Those are still wins.
If Islam Makhachev was like John Jones and like 2-3 fights in, he was a champion. Guess what? He would have the record too. So stop it. Anyways, we can move on from that.
And 2 or 3 fights in, he was knocked out cold on the canvas.
Exactly. No, my point is, okay, you can say that. People like Anderson Silva too. That's why he even has like these crazy records because you look at them, they were 2 fights in and they already champions. That generation, it's tough because that generation. Okay, let me just be honest. That generation, they'll have an athletic black dude who comes in who just happens to be more agile. Who just happens to be more agile. The majority people name like Anderson Silva and Jones, and they almost have, I don't want to say they have a head start, but they have a physicality advantage, and they're very athletic, and they just kind of mow through people. So that's why people are like, oh my God, Anderson Silva. Oh my God,
a guy that was super physically athletic and was a freak.
You can look at that loss and act like it was a very skill-based thing, or you could look at the fight and you could understand he got caught with a punch, and then that's it. I'm not doing anything to myself. I'm saying there's nuance.
These guys get
I'm saying
there's
context.
It
is gifted. Of course it's gifted.
2 or 3 fights Pereira wasn't ready.
Pereira getting 2. No.
Wasn't ready.
But this is the thing. This is the different thing. This is the different thing.
He needed to get more
This is the difference. People like Pereira.
Better guys, not get knocked out by dudes.
People like Pereira, people like Jones. Okay, if Islam Makhachev was fighting Adrian Martos, and he was he was a 4'11" guy, or he had like a 6-inch like so much advantage, physicality advantage over him, it was an easy stylistic matchup. I bet he wouldn't have got caught. But luckily for John Jones, he has a very has a physicality advantage. Not like Adrian Martos.
Elbows, I guess he wouldn't have.
Yeah, you could laugh, you could try to joke about it, but deep down, what's harder? But you fight. Everything I'm saying is making every sense.
You fight.
Consecutively winning 17 fights in a row. Consecutively winning 17 fights in a row is more impressive than winning 12 title fights or whatever you just said. 16 title fights, because half of those title wins you're saying he didn't even earn his title to be there. He just got gifted it. So stop it.
You won the fight. So you earn.
And it's funny because if we go back in time, earlier to this, I literally remember you saying you agreeing that there's a lot more privilege that comes with being in title opportunities in contrast to having consecutive fights that are won, because it's a difference because you're not privileged with consecutively winning fights in a row.
You're consecutively winning.
Of course, that's so much harder. Jones has no record in the record books will ever say Jones is number 1 and consecutive is in the title of it.
The only reason John doesn't have consecutive fights is there's a no contest in there. And
why is there no contest? Why is that a thing? Why? He's a great fighter. He doesn't cheat. He doesn't take supplements. He should never deal with that.
What your problem is with John's supplementation issues.
And I already know your thing. He took an anabolic steroids called, I know for sure you might have it on the screen, called like Trin or whatever. That substance is still banned.
It's not Trin.
I'll find the name of it. Turinabol, which is still banned in the current UFC today. But yes, he took a substance like that.
Okay.
And that's why it was overturned. No matter what you say from this point onward,
it wasn't actually overturned. So
which is why the Daniel Cormier fight was overturned. You're missing what I was saying. Yeah. That's why the Daniel Cormier fight was overturned, because he did something that was cheated. That was considered cheating. He in his body. They came back results that he had anabolic fucking hell steroids. You know what I'm trying to say. He had steroids. So at the end of the day, no matter what conspiracy theory anyone can construe, it doesn't change the fact that happened, and it changed the perspective and the outcome of that fight between Daniel Cormier. So
what
say
do you
what
think
you want
now,
but it doesn't mean.
What do you think it changed in the fight? Like, what do you think that the Turinabol that he got popped for did for him?
I'm saying that if you enter a fight willingly, taking something that could potentially improve your performance, like I said, everything else is conspiracy or.
But you just said willingly. How do you know he willingly took?
Okay, he took something, whether willingly or not. He took something.
Something was in his body.
And that something is a banned substance.
Okay.
John Jones is not the first time he's wrapped around, and I'm sure you already have your knowledge about that. It's not the first time he's wrapped around taking something that could be looking at a performance. Yes, so it's.
I don't have an explanation for that one, by the way.
Okay, fair enough. So
USADA does, but I don't.
Okay, when you have a track record, you know, that's probably why I came to my own conclusion. I could say willingly, because a track record kind of surrounds him in anything illegal and helping himself out, which he doesn't really need to because he's very talented. But it doesn't change the fact that if you did that, second to Islam.
That's what you said. You said Islam's freaky, athletic. You said that.
Oh no, physically gifted, not the most talented. That's two different things.
Wait. Yeah. If we're talking about talent, it would be because Islam did the sport longer, maybe.
No, it would just be Islam. It's just because Islam's more. Yeah, Islam's more skilled and talented. And he goes against better opposition, and he beats them in their fashion. Yeah. So at the end of the day, he takes these supplements, willingly or not. And he gets caught doing it, and it deserves to be overturned. Now, I'll let you excuse it and make your conspiracy as to why it's not.
No, it's not conspiracy. So I actually have researched this pretty extensively, because I feel like there's heavy just hammering against John for everything, right? Especially in the modern era, like people don't want to accept. I think it's more because they don't like John. I think people
he's not a very
really
good person,
like him.
Objectively.
I can agree with that. I mean, I'm not here going to defend John as a person. I've made videos, tons of them, that John's a scumbag. But if we're speaking about the performance enhancers, right? USADA at the time, yes, there's the first test he pops for. This is the dick pills case, right? 2016, UFC 200. Okay. This is what John blames dick pills for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one, I really don't have an excuse for. The USADA has said banned or tainted supplement. I don't know if the dick pill actually was or wasn't. I think we're going to have to speculate on that, because USADA has said it was a contaminated supplement, which is why he only got 1 year. If you remember back, he was on the hook for potentially like 2 to 5 years.
I remember.
He got 1 year for it because they called it a contaminated supplement. So would you admit fault there for John or not?
Yeah, he's on fault. Like I said, track record.
But that was his first outside of cocaine use.
No, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, like, outside Jones has, prior to that, he's shown that he's not the best at decision making. So I could look at that and be like, I could see Jones making another bad decision. Could I be a bad guy for assuming that? Sure, but am I unjustified for assuming that? Why? Why would I?
Is it his willful? Did he?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did.
Did he use something on purpose to pop?
Of course, I believe so.
Okay, so you don't buy the contaminated dick pills, even though USADA is giving him the 1 year ban.
Yes, because he's the GOAT. Like he's the
supplement.
Because they love Jones. Like the UFC sees him as cash cow. They're not gonna wanna. You know this, but it's okay.
That's subjective. But you don't believe that there was a reason he got a. It is, because you don't have any proof for any of that. What do you mean?
No, is it subjective that Jones is like a star and a like someone who's very?
You're saying he's a
profitable
star, which is why
the
they gave him 1 year. Nick Diaz got 5 years for weed.
Okay, so if we could compare Nick Diaz and John Jones as far as a popularity standpoint, I don't think you're. Yeah, I love Nick Diaz. He's one of my. He actually brought me into the sport like more so than anyone else. I love Nick Diaz. He's cool, but like if you actually talk about as far as the money he makes for the company, it's laughable. So don't ever try to compare that to Jones.
So all the drug tests are contingent upon how much money they make for the company.
I mean, there's very few people, like people who aren't named John Jones, getting caught up in this shit. They wouldn't see the light of day. No, they will get casted away like nothing.
So anybody that gets caught with PEDs.
So now you're very much just putting words in my mouth. I said,
I'm asking if they're not John Jones, like you said.
I like how you straw man. I like your straw mans because it reminds you of me a bit.
Making sure. You said these people, if they're not John Jones, they would get cast away.
John Jones specifically. John Jones specifically has a certain notoriety and popularity.
Well, that doesn't matter.
I mean, of course it matters, because if John Jones isn't John Jones, the things he does on a daily basis and the things he's getting caught for, he wouldn't still be around.
You mean the PEDs? John wouldn't be around if he took
not just the PEDs, not just the PEDs, not just the Jones is known for doing worse things than just PEDs and cheating in the octagon. Let's just say that. So I'm saying that if Jones was some random, I'm just saying if Jones was some random person though, just understand he wouldn't be in the places he was right now. Just understand this. But go ahead and continue.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out what the parameter is for athletes in the UFC. Is it just John that
popularity?
Okay, so popularity reduces your sentence, is what you're saying.
Of course, yes. Okay. And Jones is my evidence.
But if you're not popular, you get a bigger sentence.
Of course.
Okay. So from there, we go to John gets a 1-year suspension. He comes back. We go from there to July 28th was UFC, 214?
Yeah, that date sounds very memorable. Yeah,
214. Massive win for John. I mean, completely. And by the way, great fight for DC to start.
That was a good. Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you mean completely? I was like, where are you going with that? DC was doing great.
Completely shuts the door on this rivalry, right? It's over.
Okay. Yeah,
he 2-0, washed him with the head kick, vicious ground and pound. You know how you finish a fight, you go after someone.
Yeah,
violently, right?
He looked good. He
looked great. That was, I mean, honestly, John's best win to me. We get a post-fight test. He's popped again, Turinabol this time. Now, here's what's interesting about the Turinabol. John pops for what is, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to nail down Turinabol, okay? But he pops for what's between 20 and 80 milligrams per liter, or I guess picograms per milliliter, which would be, let's say, a millionth of a percent.
He gets caught with something, yes, I understand.
Let's say a millionth of a gram of Turinabol in his system, right?
Shame on him,
I guess. Now, this is speculative, of course, but I would ask you, what would that amount of Turinabol in someone's system, I don't know, I'm not trying to make you act like you're some expert on this, and I'm not either. Do you think that would benefit John in any way?
I'm going to give you two answers. The first answer, as far as it is going to benefit him, like I said, I am actually not a doctor, fun fact. So I don't really actually understand how it would affect him.
So you're just taking the line of no PEDs ever.
But I will say this. Getting caught, like, there's a reason Islam has never got caught for popping anything. And there's always going to be people
sure about that?
I think Islam has never got caught. Oh, but someone in his camp, I don't care. Islam has never got caught himself for popping. You could look at anything you want, you would never find it. You search it up now, please. I'm begging you, because I know my guy. I've been following him my whole career, so he's never been popped for anything in his life. And there's a reason for that. He's not taking things that he shouldn't be taking. You know, And John Jones is somebody, especially with that rivalry, he can't stand DC. Whole time I remember in the build-up, he was always like, "I'm just younger than you. I'm just getting better. I'm getting fitter." And he looked ripped. The bald-headed, he was. I can't lie. But the bald-headed Jones, I remember looking at him like, "Yo, he's in great shape. Like he's always in great shape." But there's something different about the way Jones looked that fight. Like as far as a physicality standpoint, like I said, I don't know what the advantages of that supplement can do. I know it's an anabolic steroid, but steroids in general are performance enhancing. So I don't care. If you got caught with it, you got caught with it, and it is what it is. And it's a fact you got caught with it. So I don't feel bad. And I think that should blemish. And this shouldn't be in the GOAT conversation. And this is a debate about who's the GOAT. I can't even believe it. When you're even getting caught with things like that multiple times is disgusting.
Would you say there are things in people's system that the UFC and USADA doesn't test for?
I feel like the UFC and USADA would test for something if it was so significant that it'd give someone an advantage.
I agree.
In my opinion.
And they did, right? At the time they did. Now, Turinabol, fairly new substance in that time frame as far as being used in MMA or not necessarily in competition. It's been used in bodybuilding competition in the Olympics as well.
Yeah, it has.
But John also has another fight in 2018, right? Where he fights Alexander Gustafsson, supposed to have been in Vegas. This is where the pulsing picograms comes into play. You remember this? The pulsing, they had to move.
I remember
the entire event because John he popped again. And we were like, holy shit, here we go. John's popped again. This is a guy's a steroid cheat, right?
Yes,
that event still went on.
Yes, it did.
Why did that event go on?
I don't know.
Because John was determined to have pulsating metabolites in his system.
Yeah.
That provided them, again, according to this same USADA that, you said they test and they determine the levels and they'll see if there's a certain amount in there they want to test for. John was sitting around that same 20 to 60 picograms per milliliter. So it wasn't like John had more metabolites in his system this time around.
Okay.
So what made it different? Why was John given essentially an exemption use to go and fight?
You tell me.
I'm asking you because they allowed him to fight against Alexander Gustafsson.
I know
he was pulsating at the same level he tested positive for back in 2017. So if it was wrong then, why is it right then? Why is it right after?
I'm not sure about with the UFC politics.
Politics.
Why? I mean, it has to be some politics clearly, but I don't know. I mean, I think everything involving Jones is politics for the most part.
So it's just Jones, but
it's always saving. I mean,
it
is just Jones. You're saying it's just Jones, but it literally is just Jones. Yeah, you're right. It is just Jones.
I guess so, but Frank Mir got caught with the same thing. They couldn't really determine what happened there. There's been multiple athletes that have had metabolites that they don't know where it came from.
Okay, but this specific...
So it may just be that these people are eating something bad. Maybe there's a tainted supplement. But my question is, why was it okay in 2018 to fight Gustafsson and not in 2017? Same number of metabolites.
I don't know. Like I said, the UFC's political.
Do you qualify Jones' win over Gustafsson as a win?
Well, no, because if you look at his resume, it's overturned. They didn't overturn the Gustafsson thing.
Not.
So for
the second Gustafsson win.
Oh, the second. I think said DC. No, I know that one. That one's a win because if I look at the UFC website, because it was never overturned. If the DC win was never overturned, I count that as a win, but it was overturned.
But what were the reasons that one was overturned and one was a win?
Because
he took around the same level.
Well, clearly not.
He popped
clearly not.
Positive. It is clearly.
Clearly not.
We'll leave the link in the description for.
Okay, you can leave it. Leave it in the description.
That shows.
And I'm going to leave in the description the record, the results of Daniel Cormier's fight and Gustafsson's fight.
That's fine.
At the end of the day, you're not like if you're going to try to convince me to switch my stance on like it should be overturned. I'm not.
Why not?
Please keep going.
You don't
because
like
why would I?
Logic?
Facts and logic. If I look at facts, the facts of the situation is that fight was overturned. And the Gustafsson fight wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't research this thing. Like people like you need to do things. Like you need
sense.
to. No, I'm just explaining. You need to
research.
You need to overly research things. Listen, John Jones. We already talked about how this is not the first time he got caught. We already talked about this. How this is not the first time he got caught. You have no explanation for the other one. So at the end of the day,
you saw it. They called it a contaminated.
It still was a. It was exactly. We still got banned. So you did something that got you a ban. So at the end of the day, no matter what you're saying, he did something that got him banned that he wasn't supposed to do. So at the end of the day, that still disqualifies you. That still disqualifies you from the GOAT list. Okay. Based on my criteria. So it doesn't matter if he did it multiple times. He could do it 1,000 more times as long as he did it once and he had to suffer a consequence. At the end of the day, that diminishes
that same mindset.
I will always keep the mindset that a cheater can't be in the GOAT list. Continue.
I want you to keep the mindset that
the mindset will never be changed.
If you did it, it's an asterisk. I want you to keep that mindset that this was not beneficial. Ken.
Wait, in 2020. This is interesting because you had the same point of view of the 12 to 6 elbows.
I agree.
At the time. I'm telling you right now, if you do something at the time when something's illegal, I don't give a shit what happens in 50 years. It's illegal at the time. You still did it.
What about in 6 months?
I don't care if it's a day after. I don't care if it's 6 hours after. I hope you understand my point of view and know my stance on this at this point.
So you wouldn't care if Islam had gotten popped for a PED, and then
if that dude took anything to disrupt that GOAT resume, shame on you, Islam.
Well,
and I will not back you at all. Where? When?
So
when has Islam tested positive for anything? Tell me, and let's look it up. I'm gonna look it up with you.
Go ahead. Islam Makhachev tested positive for meldonium in 2015 at a competition test, but it was a test.
Wait, what do you say? At a competition test? So was he in competition? Like he fought when this happened?
He didn't actually get to fight because he
so I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Well, he was pulled off the card a day before he fought Drew Dober.
Did he fight with it? Did he cheat with? Was he using a performance?
Fight with it, then were we taking away John's dick bill?
Jones fought. He fought Daniel Cormier though.
No, he didn't fight at UFC 200 when he was on.
He fought Daniel Cormier when he was on that anabolic steroids that starts with a T. We just established this.
I'm just making sure we're going to take the dick pill thing away then.
No, we're not.
Well, he didn't fight when he got popped.
What the dick pill thing showed me was that it's not John Jones' first time taking a supplement. That's what it showed me.
But you said that it doesn't matter if he didn't fight. John didn't fight at UFC 200. He got pulled off the card.
It was Jones' first offense of taking anything, and then he took something again. So John Jones has shown a history.
When John has
no. I'm just saying what he got caught for in 20.
So it doesn't matter.
No. You're not letting me. No, like you just said. Hold on. You said Islam got caught
Islam
taking.
was going to fight, but because they caught him.
Where are you getting this from? I'm looking up Islam Makhachev. What's it called? He took a steroid.
Yeah, well, it's not a steroid, but it is a banned performance enhancer from Wadazli.
Oh yeah, I see. Is he talking about meldonium? that he was completely cleared of doing? Okay, yeah.
So let's talk about the clearance of meldonium. What does meldonium do, and why did he take it? Right? What was his reasoning for taking it? Because
it said he was cleared. It said he was cleared where John Jones wasn't cleared.
There's been a couple.
Anything. Hold on. Before we get into this, can you acknowledge that John Jones was never cleared?
I just want you to make sure that we go.
No. But hold on. No, you can go back and say it. But
for any PED.
But you realize if someone was cleared for it, it means that it was no wrongdoing for it.
We'll get into why he was cleared.
Okay, hold on. But that's context. That's context. No, that's context. That's context that matters.
Knowledge of,
because he was cleared of any wrongdoing. Jones wasn't cleared for any. Listen, Jones was never cleared for anything.
He says this. Yes, he says this, and he does have a doctor
So
prescription.
you're ignoring. Okay, so the doctor prescription is lying.
No, I'm not.
What kind of horrible attempt was this?
You have to stop and let me explain.
What kind of horrible attempt was this?
No one said the doctor didn't prescribe it. I'm wondering if he even had the surgery.
So you're just a conspiracy theorist.
No, because I'll get to Islam's own words. I can show you the video.
You're a conspiracy theorist, man.
But I have a question for you. Why was at this same time, right? He takes it, and they said he took it for 4 weeks, a year after a heart surgery, because the doctor was afraid of a relapse of what was essentially a heart arrhythmia, right? Like he had a sped up heart in every fourth beat, right?
Yes.
They did like an ablation. Apparently, they burned a piece of his heart, he says, and well, I would assume if you were worried about any sort of reoccurrence, let's say, you'd give him that medication right after surgery. Why wait a year later to give him that medication? 4 weeks.
It could be complications.
4 weeks. He had no complications. 4 weeks.
Says how would you know his conversation with his doctor? Because he was prescribed.
We have the video where he talks about it, but
a 60-second video wouldn't be context.
It would be when he said he didn't even feel like he had an issue. The doctors told him he had an issue.
Bro, I could tell you never had like a heart issue or anything. Like that's not even abnormal.
I've had blood clots. But he says, he said he didn't even, he had fought right beforehand, had no issues.
Okay.
Didn't need any issue, but he was going to go compete in Sambo, right? He was about to go and compete in Sambo at the time. At this same time, 4 weeks before the drug is banned, they take him off.
Okay. So
why would that happen?
Man,
why would he just randomly
This is the thing about this. This is probably the most pathetic attempt to say
it's really
someone
not,
is taking steroids because you're looking at someone. You're looking at someone. Okay, you're saying PEDs when this guy was prescribed something from his doctor and it's proof that it was a prescription medicine from a doctor, and you're still trying to look at it like, well, to my calculations, he still shouldn't have listened to his doctor. Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, it's an embarrassing reach because, like, it's like, okay.
I'm wondering because meldonium has been caught and tested positive in 100 athletes that same year.
Okay, cool. You have a great conspiracy.
I'm not
great conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. What you're saying? It's a conspiracy.
Do they all have heart
issues? Realize that medication. You realize medication could hold specific things that you don't.
Sharapova had a big heart issue when she was taking it for.
I don't know who that is.
10 months straight. I mean, she's a world champion tennis player from Russia, oddly enough.
Typically people who have doctor prescribed medications means that the doctors prescribed the medications, which means that there was a complication, which means that they must have been a complication. But this is what the thing is. People don't. Let me explain something to you because I feel like this is like for some reason you're struggling to comprehend this. Usually when someone takes when someone takes something that's actually known for being a performance enhancement drug, typically they're actually not prescribed by a doctor to take it for specific reasons. For specific reasons that have nothing to do with that. So John Jones, I don't remember him being prescribed.
What about TRT?
Was John Jones prescribed to take the dick pills or the whatever by a doctor?
What are TRT prescriptions?
Wait, why is he not answering the question? Okay, clearly because you.
I don't know. Exactly. Have to ask John. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, if John Jones was prescribed, but if Jones was prescribed by a doctor, this wouldn't be a big deal.
Oh, it wouldn't.
Because if a doctor prescribed it
for
a complication,
What about if the dick pill he took wasn't contaminated? Would it be a big deal?
If a doctor prescribed for him, it was no big deal. He took something with nobody to prescribe to him. He took it.
Why would a doctor prescribe hundreds of athletes out of kind of the same area?
How are you saying what? No, but what do you mean? What do you mean 100 athletes? That's specific. You're looking at Islam specific case, and you're trying to generalize. That's so like that's like
trying to generalize. I'm saying that's
that's exactly what you're doing.
Time period,
you're trying to generalize. You're saying that since Islam took this supplement, by a doctor prescription. I'm assuming everyone else did it from doctor prescription. How are you going to tell you what other people did? And I'm telling you, right now, you're generalizing, and you're looking at Islam's individual case and trying to cast it on everyone else. Unironically. So it's very embarrassing, and it's a very poor attempt. And you're not doing a very good job defending Jones' GOAT legacy, looking at Islam trying to flag him for something that was prescribed by a doctor. It's a very poor. You're trying to flag him for something you got a doctor prescription for.
Let's watch this video because it seems like you're panicking a little bit.
This is very embarrassing. What a horrible attempt. He lost on the resume. He lost on every single objective. I just deflected it by saying
for a PED as well. I don't understand.
I just told you. Well, you're saying he popped for a PED. Pop for a PED would equate to him being flagged for the PED when he was cleared for any wrongdoing. When he was cleared for any wrongdoing.
But John was cleared of any wrongdoing.
He wasn't cleared. He had two instances where he had to get a ban.
And also, didn't you say
when you get a ban? Hold on. When you get a ban, that does not make you cleared. If Islam got a ban, if Islam was banned from the UFC from competing, Islam was not banned.
That was cleared.
What's hilarious about this, I can't wait for it to pull out because people are gonna look it up and be like, wait, it was a doctor's prescriptions. It was a doctor prescription.
Let's take a look at this. Because I'm very interested to see what you think.
I'm glad you think you have this. I got your moment.
Calm down.
From a doctor's prescription.
Did you realize during the Icarus documentary that the doctor's prescriptions for Russian athletes was the reason they're banned from the Olympics?
I know you don't like Russian athletes, gang. It's okay, brother.
I'm just
this generalization is
together
getting mad, bro. I feel like I'm talking to Guru right now.
I don't like. Can you acknowledge what I'm saying?
I'm saying that you have
that came out.
I'm saying that
dealt with the same doctors.
Everything you're saying,
doctor prescription.
Everything you're saying is conspiracy. But go ahead, keep conspiracizing.
These are just facts. This is what happened.
These are just facts. The fact was he was cleared by the fact that he was hold on. Was it a doctor prescription? Facts or opinion? Was it a doctor prescription?
Yes, he was prescribed.
Okay, so at the end of the day, everything that comes after that is your conspiracy saying, well, it might be a doctor prescription, but I heard these doctors are doing this, that, and the third. This is your conspiracy. I don't care about conspiracy. I don't follow conspiracies. People who follow conspiracies are typically a little bit upset about the situation, so they read into conspiracies to try to justify their claim. You said the supplement was banned 4 weeks after that he took it or something?
They banned the supplement in 2016.
So how much time after was it that before that was he took it? He took it 4 months prior?
That's the thing.
Okay, so he took it prior and then so he took it prior. So guys, so chat, I want you guys to listen to this. This guy was prescribed a heart medication, and he was using this heart medication prior to when it was banned. Since it was banned, he's never been using it there after that. So he's mad at Islam Makhachev so he's mad at Islam Makhachev. Whereas when you look at John Jones, it was already a banned supplement that John Jones was taking. 10-8, bro. 10-8, bro. When you look at John Jones, it was already a banned supplement that he was already taking. He still took it even though it was already banned. Whereas Islam's wasn't even banned when Islam was taking it. This guy is not real, gang. I ain't gonna lie. This guy is not real, bro. It wasn't even banned when he was taking it. No, it wasn't even banned when he was taking it. Yeah, baby. It wasn't banned when he was taking it. You said he popped for it after, but he said after. You just said after it was it was stated he didn't take it after that.
It was in his system.
In his system. Yes. No, you just said it was in his system. After the fact, you said he stopped taking it afterwards.
You have to listen before you.
When was the substance banned?
It was banned on January 1st, 2016.
And then it says Makhachev has used the substance legally in late 2015. Thank God for reading, Kenny. This is why you gotta chill and read. Hold on, let me finish my statement. Let me finish my statement. Everyone here, I want you to say gotcha in the comments. It says Makhachev used the substance legally in late 2015 on a doctor's recommendation following 2014. Since the situation, he has not took that substance and it was banned on January of 2016. So if you're taking a supplement late 2015 prior to it being banned, and then after the fact it was named a banned substance, but since it's been banned, you never took it. You just had traces of it in your system from taking it late 2015. You didn't actively take a supplement while it was banned, so therefore it wasn't cheating. Whereas John Jones' supplement was already banned to begin with.
What do you mean? How did he pop for it?
If it was John Jones I just said it was in his system.
And how much of it was in his system?
You realize, hold on, let me explain something. You realize if you take something late 2015, you could get flagged with something in 2016 because it's still going to be in your system. You didn't know that, or do you not know that? I'm asking you. Like, do you know that?
I don't know what the half-life is. I don't know how long it stays in your system.
Okay, well, clearly it says that he was taking it in late 2015, not in 2016. But was he? So I advise you, because that's what it says.
Who?
So I advise you to research that. Who says that? It's in writing. Look it up. Talking about who says it. Look it up. Yes, you can literally look it up on Google.
Who said it? Did his doctor say he stopped taking it?
So look at he's trying to conspiracize again. When facts are right in front of him, when facts are right in front of him, and it's stated. So okay, so where are you getting your source from? Well, Google, but get out of here, gang.
My source it just says he got popped for it. That's my source.
Yes, okay, but your source your source says that in 2015 he took it, but he popped for it in 2016. So okay, so what can we can't go off of anything but the doctor's word and his word. So therefore, based on the doctor's word and his word, based on the doctor's words and his words, in late 2015 he took the supplement prior to it being banned. It's prefaced in the article it's prefaced in the article that he took it late 2015 on a doctor's recommendation, by the way, not even his own. So he was taking a supplement not on his own grace. Now you're gonna backtrack. Listen to backtrack. Go ahead.
I'm not backtracking. I don't think that the Islam is necessarily even a bad guy for doing it, because I don't think it's necessarily even his fault.
Well, yeah, if a doctor recommends something, obviously it wasn't his doing. So so where are we going with this?
But what you have to understand is, we don't know if it's John Jones' fault for taking this metabolite of turinabol.
But I do. But let me. You want me to explain? You want me to explain the difference?
Go ahead.
There's actual evidence of the doctor recommending it for Islam. Islam prior to the doctor recommendation would not have taken the supplement. Whereas John Jones is no. Whereas John Jones, there's nothing. There's none of that. And can I add that Islam Makhachev? Can I add that Islam Makhachev took it legally? Go ahead.
But you said you don't know that he continued taking it legally in 2016.
Well, based on what we know, that me and you know, he took it legally. So what we don't. So why conspiracy? Why are you saying we don't know? It says late 2015 when he took it. It just but it says when late 2015 he legally took it.
You don't know when he stopped taking it.
We know that he in late 2015. That's when he was. That's the traces that picked up on the 2016 exam.
How long he was taking it either.
It doesn't matter how long he was taking it because it was legal prior to then. He could have been taking that as a child and 2 years old. It doesn't matter because it was legal. But it was legal when he was taking it.
I don't know.
And once it was illegal, and he doesn't take it anymore, isn't there a reason? Isn't there like a reason for that?
Stop taking it right then. I don't know.
Well, I know because I'm reading it. Well, I'm reading it because it says, or fun fact, he just stopped taking it when it was announced to be illegal.
Maybe, or maybe he stopped taking it after he popped.
Yeah, so keep saying your maybe conspiracies while I'm reading facts. I don't want to hear it.
It's not a fact. You just said
it's a fact that he took it in late 2015. We're saying I read it off Google. Where else are you going to get your information from? You're going to look up when he took the supplement. You're going to look it up on Google.
That John knowingly took turinabol.
I didn't say knowingly, but he took a banned substance while it was banned.
It didn't matter if it was
while it was banned, but it was banned already. You're not understanding my point. It was banned when he was taking it. Islam wasn't banned when he was taking it. So what's your what's your actual point of view when Islam it wasn't a banned substance when Islam taking it? Like what's your narrative?
I don't know if Islam stopped before.
So he's still taking it to this day or whatever. Like what are you trying to say?
No,
he could be. You're saying before he got caught, it doesn't matter. By the time he got caught and it was deemed as illegal in 2016, he wasn't taking it by then.
You don't know
because in 2016 is when it's actually.
You know that for a fact. You know that.
Yes, I know that for a fact. So what if you can't base it off of what we're reading online? What can we base it off of? Theories? Go ahead, tell me.
I mean, you don't. You have to go. We don't know. We don't know why he stopped taking it. When he stopped
taking it. So this whole thing is just like a theory for you. Okay, congrats.
Okay, so this is Islam talking about the vitamins that were given to some of the Russian Sambo athletes and athletes at the time, around the same time, obviously, as the Icarus.
Let's do it.
Бой именно вот. Я стараюсь чуть.
Music. He wears his opponents out with his wrestling. It's good stuff.
Maybe I can't hear it.
That's because music.
I mean, he's speaking Russian anyways. Yeah, true. I was worried more about
it. He says he was worried about the USADA pop. He said, not because I got taught taking something. Watch. Even though, and this is the over-the-counter name for Meldonium.
Sure.
Russian athletes on national teams get it like vitamins. Huh. It's on the combat Sambo team. And that's interesting. It was part of the nutrition to get vitamins.
Okay.
So my question is, every national team was giving it. Wait a second.
Okay.
So I'm confused. Why would he need it for a heart medication if he was taking it during competition for Sambo?
Have you thought that?
Was doing?
Have you thought that? Okay, because I did college. We both did college sports, right? We both did college sports.
Wait, let me postulate my theory, and then I'll let you go. Could it be
theory? Thank God he said theory. Go ahead.
It is a theory because
Of course, it's a theory.
It's a theory as to why he had a banned substance. I can't prove why he had it.
Yes, of course. There's all theories for you. Go ahead.
Well, you can't prove why John had it either, but
I can prove Chon took it while I was banned though, so that's all I need to prove.
Well,
you can't prove. You can't.
I can prove that it was. I can prove it was in a system. I can prove it was in a system.
Yeah, that's all you can prove. That's all you can prove. You can't prove it was banned when he took it. That's my point. He can't prove that it was banned when he took it. Thank you. Thank you for conceding. You wasted our time for not conceding earlier. Go ahead.
Not a concede. Why would he be taking it? No, I didn't. Why would he be taking it?
This is gonna be great to watch. I can't wait to post this.
If he was doing it for a heart medication, I'm confused. He said a doctor prescribed it to him for heart medication.
Yes.
But then he just said in a different video, those are his words, right? You saw that was Islam Makhachev saying that.
Yes.
That it was given to all the Russian athletes like vitamins.
Yep. So as a college sport athlete, I think you're also a college sport athlete at a Division II level. I don't know.
I was
if
at
you're
Division I level.
Yeah, I was gonna say
level.
You could be D1. I mean, my school is probably better though. It's okay. Like my accolades are probably better. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So stay over there.
Yeah, accolades at D3. I mean, that's like fighting outside
D2, bro. You can't even find 5 kids. You can't find 25 people jumping 6'7" in the United States at that time. But cool. Let me just say this. I'm gonna say this.
D2, that's cool.
I'm gonna say this.
Playground stuff.
I hate them. All right. Listen, sometimes your athletic trainer is gonna prescribe you or tell you, oh, you should do this or that, and that's very normal. So I'm surprised you as a D1 athlete, you never heard that from an athletic trainer or something.
Say that it wasn't his fault. I'm not saying it's his fault, but is it something that's wrong? Do you get?
I mean, at the end of the day, he was using it when it was legal, based on what we know for fact. So that's all I can go off of.
But he
what
was
we know for fact.
With it when it was legal,
traces in the system. Yes, that was traces in the system
John's
after.
System that he was.
Yes, but it was already illegal by the time Jones just taking it. Why do you not understand?
But it was illegal. That's why he popped. It was in his system.
It's been illegal, but it wasn't like my argument is it's a fact that.
By the way, it's a backtrack from what you said earlier.
Never been a backtrack.
You didn't care if it was knowing or unknowing.
No, that's not what exactly. It's not about knowing. Islam knew he was taking it because of doctor's prescription. That's different. There's nuance.
By the way, that's not even a doctor's prescription. He just backtracked on his own words. He just said that it was given to him like vitamins.
What Islam saying is not. It's a hearsay. With the actual documents are saying prescriptions are actually
fact.
Why
would he tell two different
a prescription's
stories?
Fact. Doesn't change the fact that he took it legally. So no matter what you say, it doesn't matter because he took it legally. Don't you realize that though? Like, do you not realize no matter theory you have, he took it legally? I don't
know that he wasn't taking it legally.
Yes, but that's a theory. But what's not a theory is that he took it legally. What's not a theory
was that he got popped. And the only reason,
you keep saying popped. Hold on, can you understand something? Popping and flagging are two different things. When you flag something, when you get popped doing something, you're gonna have you're gonna fail something, and you're going to have repercussions. You're not going to be cleared, and you're going to. Okay, people who pop, what do they do after they pop?
John was flagged.
What do they do after they pop? What happens after you pop in UFC? After you pop in the UFC and you don't get cleared, you do something called serving a suspension or serving a ban. Jones was not cleared, so Jones served a ban. A suspension, not a ban. He's still here.
Why was
Islam Makhachev
and John
was cleared? Islam Makhachev, I'll explain why. Islam Makhachev was taking it while it was legal.
That's the answer. They can't know.
Islam Makhachev was taking it while it was legal, and he had traces of it in the system. And after that, they further investigate him. He cleared.
Would they find
because in late 2015,
did they know that
he could still be tracing your body,
or did they just test him again afterward, potentially when he was off it and it wasn't in his system?
You could say potentially when it's off it. Because what you're saying is hearsay. Potentially, I think, I theorize. I don't care I don't care about your theory. What I care about is the fact that he took it legally.
Same year.
I don't care about. I'm talking about Islam. I'm talking about Islam. I'm talking about Islam Makhachev, the greatest fighter of all time, that you failed to prove otherwise.
They were giving it to him like vitamins.
Like when people see the words on the screen, they're gonna laugh at you.
I'm not saying
he's bad. You're going out sad, gang. You're going out so sad in this.
I just think that you didn't know this
because this is a horrible angle.
You probably should have done more research to know this about.
This is a horrible angle because even me not knowing this, it took me one Google search to show the facts, which is embarrassing for you.
Show any facts that I didn't tell you. You just went, well,
no, guys, because he's gonna. I'm gonna play these. The way I'm gonna clip this video is gonna be funny because I'm gonna go to you saying one thing. No, like I'm gonna show you saying one thing. I'm gonna show you saying one thing. You could do that. You have the whole version up, and I'll tell you I'm to go over there. I'm gonna go back showing you saying one thing, saying that no, Islam actually did take it when it was illegal. And I was like, what? He did? And I looked it up, and it says, and the only fact said he was legally taking it, and he has traces in his system in 2016, which is two different things. But the way you phrased it, made it seem otherwise. But after I just played that clip right now, and now you're looking goofy, I'm gonna look at you right now. I'm saying you're a liar. So it's cool. Islam never took anything.
Everything I said was fact.
Islam never took anything illegally, true or false.
He was in his system illegally, yes.
I said, has Islam taken a legal substance?
We don't know.
Okay, we don't know. Thank you.
You can't say true or false. You don't know.
Thank you.
You know?
But what I do know is that he was legally taken in late 2015. That's what I do know. That's what you do know. Everything after that is a theory. That's what we both know. Thank you.
And it was a banned substance that was in his
system. Yes, a banned substance that wasn't banned while he was taking it, correct.
So the point of this, you don't know that. The point of this...
I know that for a fact. So don't say I don't know that.
He could have been taking it. The point of
You're saying it could have. I'm saying he legally took it in 2015. That's a fact.
But you
true
said
or false?
He popped
but hold on. Did he legally take it in 2015? True or false?
Yes.
Okay. Did he take it in 2016 while it was banned? True or false?
We don't know.
We don't know. Thank you.
Did he get
Holy shit. As long as everyone in the world knows who's there who's watching this, I'm fine with that. So if you hate Islam, if you hate Dagestanis, just understand you're gonna side with him.
What do you mean hate?
And if you're just an objective person who looks at nothing but facts, you're not gonna say that.
What do you mean hate Dagestanis? Because Dagestanis aren't all
I see your track record, brother. I see your track record.
Dagestanis aren't all popping. I will say a lot of people in Habib's team are popping.
Not Islam.
That's very interesting.
It's not Islam. He didn't pop. He got flagged. Why would he got cleared? He got flagged and cleared is not popping.
Why would you say all?
Because I see the way you tweet, gang. Of course it is, and I'm gonna generalize based on what I'm seeing from you.
What's generalize,
brother? Like every time it's a Dagestani versus anyone, you can say I hate what?
I can say you hate everybody not Dagestani. Just
how? Who's my favorite fighter? Adesanya? He's not really Dagestani to me. I don't know. Maybe
I think Islam's your favorite fitter right now. I think you've gone off the Adesanya train after you started.
Okay, sure.
Because that's the type of fan you are. You did the same thing to Bilal. You just said it. You just
what? I use Bilal to. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
You're trying. At least you can try all these things. You can't prove that Jones is better than Islam. That's all you can't prove. So at least I'm fine with that.
I think I did.
Your longest debate on this, I swear to God, was trying to prove Islam took something illegally that can't be proven.
No, we had to get the steroids because I knew that was your big point. But
that wasn't my big point. My big point was the resume that you still haven't shown me that Islam has a big resume.
But you haven't shown me. All you're saying is
okay. So name people better. Okay, let's go. Let's go name value for name value. This is gonna be great. All right. So name one win better than Volkanovski and explain why.
DC.
Okay. Why is DC better than Volkanovski?
In his own weight class.
Okay.
I think the wins that he has at 205 matter more than the wins that Volkanovski has at 45.
Okay, not true at all.
Who's the best?
Who's the best guy? Hold on. Who's the best guy you beat at light heavyweight, and why is it better than Max Holloway? Go ahead.
At light heavyweight.
Crickets.
What do you mean better than Max Holloway?
Crickets.
He's got the Gustafsson win. He has the Rumble Johnson.
So Gustafsson's a better win than Max Holloway.
He has the.
Is Gustafsson a better win than Max Holloway? Is a non-champion a better win than a champion? It's a non. I said in light heavyweight.
But Max.
I said in light heavyweight.
Win at light heavyweight.
I said no. DC light heavyweight. DC in light heavyweight. DC as a two division guy, right? Right. Same with Volkanovski.
Mm-hmm.
So 45 is the 45 is the division he spent most of his career in.
55, but not champion.
Not on the UFC, but no, I'm saying DC to light heavyweight is like Volkanovski to featherweight. We know this. So if you actually look at and compare that, you're gonna realize that
that actually makes my point.
Volkanovski
better.
No,
because
well,
DC has
it doesn't because Volkanovski's better. DC is not fighting people like Islam Makhachev. No offense, and we already know Islam Makhachev is better than anyone.
Stipe's the greatest heavyweight ever,
but he's not better than. We could talk about Stipe's resume to Islam, but you're not going to want to go down that path, so don't act like that. So the point of the matter is, the truth of the matter is, but we know Islam's better than Stipe, and we know that Volkanovski resume wise is better than DC. DC's best accomplishment, I love you, DC. DC's best accomplishment, respect to him, is losing to John Jones. Sorry, I love DC.
Accomplishment was beating Stipe. I think that's
yes. I'm glad he beat Stipe.
Losing to John twice.
No, because I think that was actually his best thing at light heavyweight because he was known for light heavyweight before he moved up.
You don't. How is losing to John twice better than beating Stipe at heavyweight? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, because right now we're looking at both Volk and DC, right? And you're trying to say me DC has better wins.
I think DC's a better win for John because it was an opponent in the weight class that they both fought to get to the top of.
So he's 7 years younger than, longer range. Okay, go keep going.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, you fight.
How's that
weight
fine?
Class.
How's that fine?
You can't just go. Well, he's better at this, and this.
So okay, but Volkanovski has
a weight class up. What are we talking
about? But Volkanovski's a very more well-rounded than anyone.
Longer. What are we talking about?
You're saying he's stronger, taller, and longer, guys. They're the same age, and he was pound for pound number one. What are you even talking about? Volkanovski still objectively was the hardest fighter in Islam's career. If you're looking at it, and we know how good Islam Makhachev is. And I already just debunked the whole point. You trying to say that people moving up in weight class suck?
You didn't debunk it. There are guys that have wins that have moved up.
And is that a valid claim? Is that a valid claim? Is that a valid claim though?
Guys
what I said?
have wins moving down as well.
Is it a valid claim? All right, so
no.
want to go name for name and want to compare which is more likely of a trend? The people who go up, lighter man skill, or do you want to say no, lower man skill? When you go down, you lose your chin. Which one do you want to argue? You want to argue that because you're not going to win it. If you want to, let me know. I'll destroy you in it too. I'll destroy you in everything. Let's go. You want to do it?
Arguing. It's just
okay. So you don't want to go down that path because you know that lighter man skill is more prevalent in the UFC today, and people who went up and fought, they tend to have some good track record. So stop trying to diminish. It's not that it didn't happen to Volk. It's that Volk had to go against the fucking GOAT of the UFC.
So
and
go
he
against
did
somebody else.
There's different. He can't. Well, he's too good to. He's a champ. Go again. He went again and got knocked out. We know this. Come on, brother. Islam's different from these guys, man.
I agree.
Islam is, and it's not because Volk is bad though. You got to understand it's because he's going against Islam Makhachev, and he's still had a competitive fight. So stop it, gang. It's not even close. Don't ever compare DC to Volkanovski. That's your last chance. That's your last chance. Don't ever compare Volk to DC. Now that I cleared you on Volk DC.
To be honest, DC's better win.
In your opinion, but you can't name me some actual good people that DC won because you just said DC's best win is
Rumble. These are great wins.
Rumble, Volk, like I'm telling you,
by the way, in Strikeforce, great win.
Oh yeah, they're just so great wins, bro. Max Holloway's better than everyone you just named.
Dan Henderson, great win.
Those
Max
are like
better.
This is the difference.
Those weight classes as well.
Exactly, but my saying, okay, I think featherweight is one of the most competitive weight classes in the world.
Sure.
And I think Volkanovski
size difference that makes.
But you can't. But there. My thing is, I think the whole narrative you're trying to diminish Volk, who's actually champion right now, who's actually champion right now. So he's even showing longevity. He's even showing longevity in his weight class. You keep saying in his weight class it matters,
and it didn't work.
But like you're trying to diminish him coming up and saying it didn't work. Volkanovski had the closest fight with Islam Makhachev, which actually points to my narrative that if you actually look at DC's fights with John Jones, the only DC fight with John Jones that counted, it actually was kind of a wash away because DC he's not as skilled as Volkanovski. You can't say Volkanovski went up and had
for John, in my opinion, by the way.
Okay, yeah, I don't care about your opinion. I care about facts. But I'm saying as far as I'm saying
the head kicked him and knocked him out. That's what happened.
I'm saying what happened is like you can't look at Volk and say Volk's not as good as DC because Volk is not as good as 155 when Volk is very good at 155. I'll call it a push.
I'll give you a push.
Okay, and then thank you for the push. Now Charles Oliveira, who's better than him? Who John Jones beat?
I would say Ciryl Gane right now is comparable.
Okay, thank God you didn't say better, so you're gonna concede there clearly. So we don't gotta argue that.
But comparable.
Okay, so let's compare then. All right, so Charles Oliveira. Let's talk about at the time they fought. At the time they fought. So are you gonna concede? Or should we proceed?
Go ahead.
Because Charles Oliveira was on a 12 fight win streak, which was the second longest in the weight class outside of Islam Makhachev. And if he actually beat Islam, he's the guy who will be looking at to beat Anderson Silva's record because he would be right on track. But Islam Makhachev watched that guy, and not gonna lie, very easily too at his own game. He had the most submissions in UFC history. What did Islam do? He went there and submitted him. So tell me someone on John Jones' resume who's a better win than that.
I think you can combine a couple different people.
Don't combine. I said name one person. We're gonna go. Why not just go name value for name value? Because you can get
John
torched.
Has so many.
Say it out. I know he has so many.
We can start combining and still have a little bit of a clear.
So you're saying that? Okay. So you're saying hold on. You're saying that went so good. Let me say at least 3-4.
It's a good win.
Go ahead.
Compete with that. It's a good win.
Thank you, because that's a common occurrence with Islam. You can't really compete with them on an individual basis. So name multiple people.
When you don't have as many individual wins as John does, that's why you're able to put 2 and 3 together.
No, that's not why. That's not why. Because if John Jones' wins were so elite, you could still name one and it could trump it. That's why in the first argument you try to compare DC. You try to compare DC. All right, so let's compare that.
I think that's a push. I think DC. To be honest, people romanticize Volk and don't give DC the credit I think he deserves.
I think DC's top 10 all time. People call me crazy. Like I think DC's great, but
so
Volk,
if he's top 10 all time, I think that
I think Volk's top 10.
I think
no, but I think Volk's like top 6. I think Volk, especially winning the title.
We're talking semantics at that point. We're talking like,
No, but
is he that much better? Is he that much?
But he's still better. He's still better.
So I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
I mean, at least he's pound for pound number 1. DC was always second place to John Jones his whole life.
Nonsense ranking. It doesn't.
Okay, get a load of this guy.
Pound for pound's a nonsense ranking.
How is it nonsense ranking?
It's just we're talking.
Okay, hold on. Are you gonna stand? Hold on. Are you gonna stand on that claim?
Well, I think GOAT conversation is different than pound for pound.
No, but are you saying pound for pound number 1 is a nonsense ranking?
I think it just means you're very subjective in the moment.
Okay, cool. Actually, I like that, and I'm gonna pretend. I'm gonna pretend like I'm not even gonna say something that could have helped you out, but go
like
ahead.
Pound for pound doesn't really mean anything when you don't do pound for pound things.
I love it.
Wait,
what does that mean?
Volkanovski hasn't done pound for pound things.
So you don't think going up and giving Islam the hardest fight of his life, when Islam's looked at as the most unbeatable?
Win, bro.
Okay, so you don't. Okay, so you don't really care about context behind losses, which sounds a little bit ironic considering what you were saying earlier today.
Saying, cool. When you talk about pound for pound, what is the goal of pound for pound?
It's to show that you can compete in the best weight classes despite your weight.
To show you can compete whatever weight, right?
Yes, and he definitely can't compete at 155. Losing to Islam doesn't mean you can't compete.
Maybe he can compete,
it just means that Islam's
but he can't
good.
win the belt. And that's what I mean.
Because Islam Makhachev is the guy.
Okay, well, you can always circular logic that to point to Islam, but I can show you other examples like John, like DC, who have done it and gone up.
Okay, Islam has done that, and Islam did it in better fashion than John Jones.
But we're not talking about Islam. We're talking about Volk.
No, we're talking about Islam. We're talking about Islam.
I'm saying the opponent is what you've propped up Volk as a pound for pound without being pound for pound.
Volk was pound for pound number one factually. That's what the ranking said.
Well, again, it's factually, it's a subjective ranking. But if you
actually think about it, and hypothetically speaking, like he was the one taking the risk going up and weight against a very dominant fighter. I agree,
but it doesn't matter.
And the facts and you're saying it doesn't matter. So you're trying to say losses
for the pound for pound list.
You're saying the context of losses don't matter. When you actually, and if you actually remember that, let me tell you how I know you probably remember.
Pound list right now,
not very high anymore.
Why not?
Because he went up and he got destroyed.
And he lost. Thank you.
So are you trying to acknowledge? So hold on. Now he's acknowledging that context matters with the losses. There's a reason.
No, I just said
if you actually remember, do you actually remember what happened with Volkanovski and Islam in the ESPN rankings? You know they had tied for number one. Yeah, they were tied for number one.
I don't give a shit about that.
But you would know that. You would know that if you actually follow the sport as much as I did. But my point is, losses with context. Context with losses matter, and you know it, but you're trying to act like you don't. Cool.
But it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter for the pound for pound list if you don't.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
To me, it don't. I'm sorry, it doesn't.
Well, to you, a lot of things. To you, a lot of things don't really correlate. But I get that.
If you don't do pound for pound things in a pound for pound era, because so many people are jumping weight classes.
I do think a competitive fight like that is pound for pound things, in my opinion. But that's where we're going to differ. You think that Volk going up and having a competitive fight
and wins the belt at 55 at any point.
He has won. He's won a fight at 155.
No, at the belt at 55. Let's say now, since Islam's not in the division, if he does it, I will give you all the credit in the world for that.
Okay, right? Well, I don't need your credit. But I don't need your credit.
That win now is a pound.
I don't need your credit because everyone in the world and everyone in the comments are going to be saying Volkanovski is a generational win for Islam. But you, except for you, because you're not actually.
I didn't say it wasn't a generational win. I just
it's a better win than DC. No, everyone's going to be saying it's a better win than DC. Is the point? And you're going to say.
I'm sure they will. There's a recency bias in MMA for sure.
It's not recency bias. You're underestimating how good Volkanovski is, especially at this.
No, I'm not.
Get out of here. Especially at this. Volk is champion right now. Like stop playing.
All you talk about.
Stop playing.
All you talk about. DC was champion in his 40s. All you talk about.
Yes, because heavyweight's a dog shit division.
Okay.
Compared to featherweight, and you don't want to argue that. Which is the more competitive division, heavyweight or featherweight? Exactly. Concede.
Featherweight's a better division. All you talk about is how little man skill, right? How does that not build DC to the ultimate little man? How is he not?
He's a big dude.
He was undersized.
I know what you're trying to say. Like he's short. He's short, but he's a big dude.
Light heavyweight.
Okay, and he has a wrestling background.
25 pounds.
Exactly. That's why he can. That's why he can move up. That's why he can move up.
Lose. DC didn't. But you're talking about little man skill.
Guys, clowning for trying to disrespect him for losing to Islam. Stop this, man.
I'm not disrespecting. You said that Volkanovski gets the little man skill, and that makes it a
Lighterman skill is a real thing.
DC, really, you could argue DC should have been a middleweight.
No, we can't argue that because he can never cut down to that weight at that point of his career.
He might, maybe not, but you should see
we know this. So stop.
He's a big boy. He was fat, but that's
huge, dude.
The way he had on was a choice. Let's be honest. That man his body is not built to be 300 plus pounds like he is.
He's 5'11", yes, like he's not but he's still a big guy naturally.
Is he 5'11"?
Yeah, he's listed at 5'11".
I don't know if he's listed, but I don't know if he's 5'11". But
hey, I mean, they're all But the thing is, like, even if we don't gotta die on the hill. We don't got to die on that hill.
But listen, you keep saying I'm diminishing Volk. You're diminishing DC.
I'm not though.
Based on the little man skill that you presented earlier in the
debate. I'm praising it, but this is where the disconnect is.
You're not.
I'm gonna tell you where the disconnect is. You think like a Stipe is on an Islam level, but I don't think so. I think Islam's a different generational skill, was more well-rounded.
I don't think Stipe's on an Islam level. I don't.
Okay, so now you're understanding why I'm looking at that
is
fight.
The biggest metric, not Islam.
Yeah, John, because I know John went to war with Anthony Smith and Dominic Reyes. He's great, but like I just don't think that's
after he'd already left the division multiple times. He was disinterested.
I remember earlier he was saying he was so old against Reyes because
he was old in the
30.
Sport.
Yeah, he's 30. Nah, 30 is really old. Islam's old in the sport too. Islam's old in the sport too. He has the longest win streak.
It's starting to show too.
It's not starting to show. He's just going against the new gen people like Ian Garry still being
like John did.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see him fight a Tom Aspinall, so I don't know. I saw him fight someone with a stylistic advantage.
No, that would be the next gen. That'd be like the 5th gen that John fought against.
I mean, that's Ian Garry's the next gen that Islam's fighting against. So
yeah, this would be like the 4th gen. John was in the UFC at 21 years old.
I'm
fought against 3 generations before he even got tired of the sport.
Yeah, he was fighting people with a 6-year advantage in age gap and like height advantage.
What does that mean? A 6-year advantage in age gap?
So I'll explain to you. I'll explain to you. So typically when you're fighting people,
it's an advantage on his body when he gets more injured.
I'm gonna explain it like this. Yes, when people have more wear and tear and been fighting for a long. No, I'll explain like this. When you're fighting for a long period of time and you're aging and you're 37 and you're fighting John Jones who's in his 20s or 30s, he's gonna probably have a physicality advantage over you. Even the way he was talking to DC, like I love DC. No offense, DC was 38 when he's fighting this dude, and I respect DC. He's a dog, but like when John Jones was saying shit like, listen, I'm younger, I'm more athletic. Johns did the same things against someone with a stylistic advantage. You understand that he would never do that with Tom Aspinall. You know he would never do that. That's not the same thing. You can look at Ian Garry. His scrambling's way better than a fucking Cyril Gahn. We already established this. So don't try to die on that hill because you'll never win. You'll never win on that hill ever.
I think
Ian Gary's a better striker than everyone.
Is on the same platform. I don't think.
I'm sure you do, but here's the thing. I feel like it would be hard for you to look at someone like Prates and see someone like Cyril Gahn be able to 50-45
Cyril Gahn
like that.
Nasty striker. One of the I'm saying
he's good.
5, maybe top 3 in the sport.
And he has and what's his major deficiency? Something that John Jones excels at, right?
His
all right, I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know that. And there's a reason.
Well. Same.
No, I disagree. Why are you saying that when Ian Garry? Okay, well you're saying major deficiency. Yo, guys, Bilal Muhammad and Shavkat shot a total of 20 takedowns. They scored 2 in total. So stop saying things. Stop talking like that.
Strike with
stop. You just said hold on. You just said his major deficiency is defensive wrestling. So why do you stuff all like half of Bilal, over half of Bilal's takedowns in Shavkat? Explain.
Bilal couldn't strike with him.
Explain why you couldn't take him down.
That's all he had to prepare for. He didn't
explain why. Explain. Oh, but you said he has a major deficiency.
He does. That's his major deficiency.
His major deficiency is something he never shows that's a flaw. Interesting point of view. Everyone, look at what he's saying and understand that he can never debate with me. He can never debate with me, guys. Let's be honest. Look what he just said. Look what he just said. His major deficiency is his defensive wrestling. When Shavkat was struggling and Bilal Muhammad couldn't take him down. So if it's a major deficiency, why can't they exploit it? Crickets. You're saying they did. How much times did Bilal take him down? How much times did Bilal take him down?
Bilal didn't have.
Okay, how much times did Shavkat take him down and control him? Because last I remember, the closest. Hold on, the last I remember, who was the closest to finish someone on the ground in Shavkat versus Ian Garry? Crickets.
Closest to finish or finish?
You can never debate with me, dog. I'm different with this shit, gang.
We're debating closest to finishes. Is that what we're doing?
You just said Shavkat could out-grapple him. How much time did Shavkat shoot and fail?
I don't know how many times.
Exactly. It was bad. It was. He scored 2 takedowns total out of like over 15 attempts.
Good job.
Okay, but you said a major deficiency, right?
So you would think
Ian Garry's major deficiency is defensive wrestling. Guys, laugh at him in the comments. Just laugh at him. I want you guys to look at him and laugh at him. He doesn't have much deficiency. He's a very well-rounded individual. It's like looking at Islam and saying his major deficiency is striking, or looking at Habib and saying his major deficiency is striking. When Habib's able to like actually catch people.
I would say Islam's major deficiency is a bit of striking and also a bit of his gas tank.
Of course, you say striking, but that makes no sense because he outstruck everyone.
After he got off, some.
Conspiracy. But understand, guys. I hope you understand from like an actual standpoint. You're losing this debate so bad because look what you're saying.
I think you get very emotional and you talk really quickly.
Yeah, and it's hard to. Okay, but you just said Ian Garry's major deficiency was a defensive wrestling.
His major deficiency, yes. I mean, we just saw it. Why did he lose the fight with Islam Makhachev?
Oh my God, I'm starting to think you're not understanding what a major deficiency. Okay, let me explain something to you. Cyril Gahn's major deficiency.
Let me explain something to you. Cyril
Gahn getting hold on. Let me explain. Cyril Gahn, when I say his major deficiency, go ahead. Let's just hear this. It's gonna be funny.
Ian Garry's a great striker. I mean, one of the best. I wish he was more aggressive. His defensive grappling is just that. It's there to help him get back to strike. Now, obviously, that's not his main skill. That's not the thing he's the strongest at. So what would his biggest weakness be?
Okay,
his major deficiency.
Let me explain something to you.
That would be his
a major deficiency is something that people would be easily able to exploit, because if you have a deficiency, now you're trying to move the goalpost to saying that something he's not the strongest at is his defensive wrestling. Yes, you said his major deficiency, meaning it's easy to exploit. If something's a major deficiency
to Islam, no, yes.
Okay, so if that was a major deficiency, it will be shown. It will be shown in his previous fights. it will be shown in his previous fights. Cyril Gane, I can look at him and actually say he has a major deficiency in his wrestling. Why? Because I can point out a primary striker like Francis Ngannou mauling him for rounds 3, 4, and 5.
You could also say that
but you can't.
Hold on, mauling him's crazy. You would also say
pull up the footage. I'm gonna put up
You would also say
now you're gonna realize that shit, you're right.
Say,
and then even John Jones was able to exploit that very easily. But if you look at Ian Garry, and how's Francis Ngannou's wrestling? Not very good. But if you look at someone like Ian Garry and you're trying to paint the narrative that his major deficiency is defensive wrestling, and then you actually look at Ian Garry's previous fights, you're gonna realize everything you said is incorrect. So thank you. Thank you for making yourself look like this for me, bro.
Defensive grappling.
This is too
what
easy,
What would you say Cyril Gane was prepared for most when he fought Francis Ngannou? In the first couple of rounds especially. What was he prepared for? Was he prepared for grappling?
I think he was prepared for fighting and winning. That's what
Was he prepared for Francis Ngannou's offensive grappling?
He was probably scared of the striking.
So he's more prepared for the striking. Maybe he was caught a little off guard with a bit of the grappling. And when you have a 265-pound behemoth on top of you and you're not a great defensive grappler.
Oh, so you admit it.
Yeah, but I'm saying he didn't adjust in the fight. Of course. It wasn't preparing for a heavy grappling Francis Ngannou.
So you're saying that it's Cyril Gane's fight for entering an MMA fight in I just want to make sure I'm getting this clear. So Cyril Gane is not that he has a grappling deficiency, it's just that he wasn't ready.
But he also wasn't preparing for a grappler.
If you look at so John Jones stylistically,
but Ian Garry prepared for a heavy grappler in Islam and got out grappled.
So what about Shavkat? Shavkat's a primary striker.
Shavkat took him down and struck with him.
Shavkat struggled to take him down. Do you want to understand?
He took him down.
Okay, so
he's not as great as grappler as.
So I shoot 50 takedowns on you. I take you down once. You have a deficiency in grappling game, right?
Wait, so are we saying if you only land like a minority of your takedowns that it's not?
No, it's not just a minority. It's not just a minority.
It's not a good scoring tactic. If that's the case, then Islam might have some issues.
In your last two fights, when someone shoots over 30 takedowns and only scores 2 of them, that's a deficiency. Your deficiency is, oh my God,
Islam might have an issue with that.
All right, let's talk about it. What's Islam's deficiency? And let me prove you wrong, so I can make you look bad in every single thing you try to debate. I want to destroy you in everything. I want to destroy you in everything. Done any of that. Keep going. Okay, we'll let people decide. I don't care, but I want to say you bring up any point. Bring up any point right now, and that I won't debunk. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, I think that John Jones, the longevity in his career, the longevity at the top of his career, the title defenses, the number of champions he fought for that time period, which was a very competitive time period at 205. It was argued that was the greatest weight class at the time at 205.
Was not better than anyone Islam has fought in, so it's fine.
That's insane.
We could talk
22
about it,
fights in the UFC, which Islam only has 19. And this is why Islam can become the GOAT.
What even does that matter? How much fights are in the UFC?
Because this is the amount of times that you've been tested at the top of the mountain.
Islam has been tested far more than John Jones.
Not at the top of the mountain.
No, he has been tested far more. Like, don't even compare that. I said, John Jones going against people he has 6-year age advantage over, and he's way younger and way fresher. Isn't testing himself as hard as being Islam Makhachev going up in a weight class, fighting a 6'3" person, giving up 6 inches, giving up significant reach, and giving up significant age against someone like Ian Garry. You could disagree, but name someone who's a harder stylistic matchup.
We already talked about the reach and
name someone who's a harder stylistic matchup. Okay, who's the hardest stylistic matchup that John Jones went against? Because we're talking about who tested. Who's the hardest stylistic matchup?
Probably Dom Reyes was a very difficult matchup for him stylistically.
Dominic Reyes, guys, get a load of this guy.
Was he not?
Here's the thing: you're saying he's a hard stylistic matchup because he's matching his frame.
He's matching.
But if you actually look at Dominic. If you actually look at Dominic Reyes against other people, look at Dominic Reyes against other people.
Well, that's a different stylistic matchup.
Exactly. So my thing is his hardest stylistic matchups aren't even talented fighters per se.
Alexander
it's just people.
It's just
people. Yeah, Gustafsson, like whose best win is. Hold on, give me a second. No, give me a second. I like Gustafsson. I'm trying to.
Cyril Gane was a difficult matchup. It's just John
you see what I'm trying to say, chat? Gustafsson, the non-champion, but I love Gustafsson, by the way. But like, if you actually look at these people.
Because again, John has.
We could do non-champions. We could do champions. It doesn't matter. The champions Islam beat are still better, and we already established this. The Vokes and the Charles. The Vokes and Charles are better than the Ruas and the Evans and the DC was already got mocked. But
the Quentin Rampage Jackson, the Glover.
Yeah, Rampage Jackson, who was 1-1 before the Jones fight.
That's not true. Who is?
He was.
He was not 1-1 before the Jones fight.
The last 2 fights, he was 1-1.
Or like a Glover Teixeira, who won a title in this era.
Yeah, because Glover was so good at the time he was fighting Jones. Cool. Stop it,
good. What do you mean? Was he bad?
What was his win streak?
Doesn't matter about his win streak. He was in the championship at 35 years old.
So here's the thing.
He was good before he was in the UFC.
Here's the thing.
He was monster before.
Bro, don't talk about before UFC when you can't name a single person he beat before the UFC.
I'm just saying he was a monster.
Exactly.
Undefeated coming into the UFC.
Yo, you're
Maybe
not
one
serious, bro. You're not serious, bro. Like I feel
Who
like
are the guys that Islam beat before he got in the UFC?
Like I said, no one knows who beats anyone before the UFC because that doesn't matter. And even I hate the argument that Dagestanis don't test themselves in the UFC. If that was the case, if you get to the highest level, you're going to get exposed by the time you get to the UFC. True or false? If you're fighting bums,
or you're going to gain experience.
Oh, so I guess it's not such a bad thing. I guess it's not such a bad thing. Thanks for admitting that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens in boxing all the time.
Okay, I'm glad that we could understand that.
But some guys don't get that luxury. They get thrown in the fire right away like John did. And John succeeded at the highest level.
You're saying he was thrown in the fire. Like I said, Jones was blessed, and I'm glad he was blessed. But at the end of the day, when you actually look at his physicality advantages, but at the end of the day,
John has to apologize for being.
When did I see? Why are you twisting it? I didn't ever said you have to. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying I'm glad he's blessed to be have such an advantage.
Wouldn't that make it more difficult for him to grapple?
No, it would make him very easy.
No. And his ability to not be centered to the ground.
Typically when you've been wrestling your whole life, you wouldn't be deficient.
He's been wrestling his whole life. Not as long as
you wouldn't be deficient
not as long
by the time you get to the UFC. So what a poor attempt by you. But
he also hadn't been doing
he's great at wrestling.
His whole life either.
He's great at wrestling. Neither did Islam. He didn't do jiu-jitsu his whole life. Sambo's not even now. Sambo's not jiu-jitsu.
More of a combination.
It's a combat. Yes, it's actually more striking than you would actually think. Actually, but it's definitely not BJJ. So I don't even know why you brought that up.
There's a combination of top and bottom grappling in Sambo.
Yeah, like I said, it's not BJJ. But he's been doing Sambo.
You don't use BJJ and you don't use BJJ in Sambo? Is that what you're saying?
Not like I said, Sambo is not BJJ. Matter of fact, Islam's very
There's not video of
if you can find any recording, find a recording me saying you don't use that. Find a recording me saying you don't. I just said it's not BJJ.
So you don't learn BJJ to prepare for Sambo?
Sambo trumps BJJ from what we've seen actually. So stop it.
You learn jiu-jitsu.
You don't learn. No, the basis of Sambo is not jiu-jitsu. The basis of Sambo is not jiu-jitsu.
Submission grappling?
So stop it.
Submission
grappling. I don't know. You keep saying Sambo like it's purely grappling. He did combat Sambo. A lot of striking in combat Sambo.
Submission grappling is a part of Sambo.
Like I said, BJJ is not Sambo. He's trying to make me to say BJJ Sambo when I'm never going to say that because it's not
saying
Sambo.
That, but
they're very different.
In a submission grappling sense for Sambo, just like you do with the striking and the offensive grappling as well. Yes.
Yeah, they're just not the same thing, which I never said that it didn't include.
Well, of course they're not.
I never said that. Okay, so why'd you even ask that question? I never said it.
John didn't because John didn't have a submission grappling base.
He had a wrestling base.
He started MMA.
He had a wrestling base, and then you had a horrible comment where you said, "Well, wouldn't he suck at wrestling because he's 6'4"? And then I had to explain to you, because he has a wrestling base.
Suck at wrestling. I said
you said it would be harder for him.
But
it's not. That's not true. I don't know what understanding do you have that tall people are hard to wrestle? Like it's hard for tall people to defend and stuff.
Who are the 6'5" wrestling champions? Who are they?
Okay, well I don't have to tell you that, but what I could tell you is that I can name kickboxers with good defensive wrestling like Yousri, Belgaroui. You probably don't even know who that is. Do you know who Yousri Belgaroui is?
I don't. Who are the 6'5"?
Brother,
you got me. Casual concept. Good one. Nice.
No, you're casual. You don't even know who that is.
I'm not claiming.
He's like a future. Okay, that's crazy. But like
But what does that have to do with anything that we're talking about?
Because he's a kickboxer. He's been kickboxing his whole life.
He went against Olympic level wrestler.
He went against Asma Bekov, who's a very talented wrestler. Actually, glad you brought that up. And he was able to stuff all his takedowns and fuck him up on the feet.
Did he take him down? Did he single leg him, high cross?
He reversed him. Yes, he was reversing a way better grappler.
But my point is, John is successful in spite of his size. John is successful for
but you're saying in spite, like being lengthy is actually not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. No, it's not.
Very tough on your knees.
His strips are beautiful. Like that actually helps you with a lot of things.
Yeah,
you don't get it, dude. You don't know. What do you mean despite? It's easier to trick people when you're taller.
He even took down DC, an Olympic level wrestler, despite his size. How crazy is that?
That's not crazy.
You're actually making. I didn't even realize, but you're making my point.
I don't know how you realize. I don't know how you didn't know that John Jones was a wrestler his whole life. It's kind of embarrassing.
No, I did know he was a wrestler.
Okay, so why would you even bring up that his height would affect it? Why would you bring up his height would affect his wrestling in the UFC? Then why'd you bring that up?
Because
his height would affect his wrestling in the UFC. It's not though. Especially when you're 6'4" and you know how to wrestle. How is that a disadvantage? Please enlighten me.
He had to learn how to wrestle at 6. Well, he's probably 6 feet.
No, he had to adjust to that. Man, come on, dude. This is looking bad for you, gang.
He had to adjust it. And by the way, you said he wrestled his whole life. He didn't. He didn't wrestle the same amount of time as Islam, did he?
I never said he did. I never said he wrestled the same amount of time. I never said he wrestled the same amount of time as Islam.
What's his whole life mean?
I'm saying he has a wrestling background.
Okay.
You realize that, right? Okay, cool. And he's 6'4". That's an advantage. That's a scary advantage. A 6'4" guy who's all-American and can wrestle.
I agree.
Keep him the fuck away from me. What the hell?
So good and
he's good at eye poking and oblique kicking. Holy shit, he's a fucking menace. Keep me away from that guy. I would not want to fight him.
I think it's a disadvantage that he overcame. That's what I think.
It's not. If you enter the UFC with a wrestling background and you're 6'4", it's not going to be a disadvantage when you enter.
Right, he overcame it to be a good
stop saying he
wrestler.
overcame it. It was not a disadvantage. He was wrestling before he was 6'4". He was building his base, and he got there, and he was 6'4", and he was wrestling. Stop.
And he had to grow up. It's like those guys that
and he had to grow up. No way. He had to grow
into his body. Like those guys that are centers. Look at you. Why do you get so emotional? Just let me finish. Then you can talk. Why do you guys?
You're funny because you're funny to me. I'm not gonna lie.
You try to do the little thing, but look at the guys that were point guards that had to become like centers in the NBA, right? Look at those guys that started when they were small and they had to grow up and they became these big centers and they had to play a different position. That's actually a disadvantage for them because they didn't play the position.
No, if you're very...
No. They had to learn how to be big men.
First of all, this is a weird... Like, don't compare NBA to fighting.
Why? These guys grabbed like 7 inches over a summer.
No, it's not the same. Jones, who's built like a orangutan with abnormally long arms and like growing into your arms is cool and everything, but like now you're 6'4" with that fucking the longest reach in UFC history. I mean, he looks. I'm not gonna say he looks like one, but he's actually built very.
Kind of great.
Hey man, at least I'm saying it, but no, he had the longest reach outside of Stefan Struve, who's a 7-foot individual, and he's 6'4". Yeah. Like he had yes, and that guy can wrestle. And that guy can eye poke you and oblique kick you. Like
wrestle, yes, it's a.
What do you mean when he learns? He's been learned before he got to the UFC. You understand this, right? Okay, so I don't know why you even brought up that it was a disadvantage.
But there are guys that are smaller that have that same advantage that then you have to overcome it. Like DC, who's an Olympic level wrestler. That's even.
If you watch that fight in the wrestling exchanges, Jones was literally bitching him. He was tripping him, holding his hand on his head. Like
so impressive.
Because when you're that lanky, you could do someone really dirty with that offensive wrestling. So, yeah.
When you're John Jones, I agree. Yes.
Yes, if you're a 6'4" guy who's an all-American wrestler in Division 1.
Let's wrap it up. What else do you got?
Wait, before we wrap it up,
here, dude.
I know. Are
there any hidden keys that I missed or that you missed on Islam?
I was just gonna say like the win over Garry is better than like every win John Jones has. Like from a skill-based standpoint, like I was gonna say that. You know, things like Armin Sarukian early in his career, like he wasn't like gifted people. He was tested early, like things like that.
We'll see how the Armin win ages. If he becomes We'll see how that win ages.
Real quick, because you were right about Jones. Some wins aging well, but can you agree that Islam has more wins that age well?
I don't know yet. Who are the wins that age well for Islam?
I think Volkanovski win aged pretty well. I think that Charles Oliveira win, especially recently, has been aging very well.
If the Volkanovski aged well, because he kept doing what he was doing at 45, is that a well-aged win?
Of course.
Or is he just doing what he was already doing?
I think it's a well-aged win because there's a lot of people in light heavyweight who are doing really good things like Reyes, and then like they lost to Jones and they don't keep doing what they're doing at light heavyweight after the fact.
Fair.
So I think I don't
think it aged well, but more so it just continued. Like I won't say that those are great wins for John. I won't say the Reyes win's a great win. I'll say it's a terrible win. I'll say that Anthony Smith's a terrible win because you're right. He fell off a fucking cliff after that.
Exactly.
I agree with that. Fell off a cliff, right? The good wins are the ones that age well, or the ones that are champions at the time. Those are good wins for me.
But what win have John Jones had that aged well in your opinion? Like maybe like 3.
I think, like I said, I think the Glover Teixeira win. I think the Daniel Cormier win. I think maybe even the Gustafsson win. That
didn't though. Like I think Rumble fucked him up as well after that, like pretty badly. Gustafsson loses every big fight. Like that's one thing.
But
he loses every big. Like he lost at DC. He lost a Rumble. Like every big fight after. Like he doesn't know how to win.
Close
he doesn't know how to win.
But I think those are the well-aged wins, and I think Cyril Gane is going to be a very well-aging win as well.
Okay, but like Islam,
I think Cyril Gane is right now potentially that win if he beats Tom Aspinall. Now he has wins on
he could beat him.
Alex Pereira and Tom Aspinall at heavyweight. Those are big wins.
Big ifs, yes. But so far,
Islam.
Yes, well, that's an if. That's a big if because Islam has already people who've aged like really. I think Armin aged beautifully.
And you could argue that first time Aspinall fight wasn't going so well for Tom. So.
No, I think Garner was going to school him, but that's like I said, argument based. Islam actually has aged wins like that. Islam on paper on my hands, like I could count more wins that age better compared to Jones. Armin Sarukian.
We'll see on Armin. When he gets to the belt,
no, but that's a fact. But like on paper, he's been on a tear since then. He doesn't need to win a belt. Like Dustin, you just said Dustin aged well, but he never won a belt.
He got to the belt. No, he got to the belt.
And then loses every time.
To the belt.
Okay, fair enough. But Arman Sarukian, he's aged well because he's been running through people. He beat Charles Oliveira. In fact, I think Charles aged well, unironically. Not aged really well. Volkanovski aged well.
Is that why the BMF thing?
No, because like what he did to out grappling Gamrot was crazy. He has a BMF. Max Holloway doesn't get done like that on average, in my opinion. I think that aged pretty well. I think
it's a good win. It's a good win.
Those three wins are
to be honest with you, I might go Charles as his best win. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, him and Volk, like I said, they're the best wins. Like those are the wins that
I think Charles is his best win. That's what
I think Volk's a bit better, just because
I just don't. The thing out of weight class for me is just not. I can't grant it to him.
That's such a weird.
You come into the weight class and you lose the title fight, and then you lose worse the second time.
On short, okay, you're doing. Too
I know
much,
it's short notice.
You're
I know,
doing way too much on Volk,
but we can't give him credit for it, then, right?
No, we can give. Of course, we give him
credit.
Because Usman was the same card fighting Hamza on 10 days notice. I swear, Usman on paper won 2 rounds on Hamza.
So you give Islam the same credit for that.
I think the head kick. I think, of course, I gave him credit. I give him the same credit.
You got to give him credit for the win, but
because Islam was dehydrated the first fight. It was a lot of antics in Australia.
There was a lot of antics. You want to talk about them? There's a lot of potential IV going on in that
he's
camp.
Trying everything, man. But yeah, at the end of the day,
was it me or Ali that was saying, well, he is allowed a certain level of IV when it was banned in Australia?
All I'm saying is they were actually trying to weight drain and kill him. Islam was so skinny in that fight. So looking back at it, and he still won.
How were they trying to weight draining? What do you mean? How?
They closed the window. The window of rehydration was a smaller window in Australia than any other fight for Islam Makhachev specifically. No, it's like there was that whole theory behind. He wasn't told. Well, yeah, everything's theory. Everything's a theory as far as
my theory is he was hydrating with an IV, which was banned.
All right, that's a great theory. He won that fight.
If he did and won the fight, would we consider it a win if it was a banned?
I mean, he rematched him and nearly killed him. So that's to me. So
well, it was short notice. Volkanovski,
but end of the day, bro.
Weight class.
Any outstruck Volk because it's supposed to be a better striker. But
out of the weight class, short notice, smaller guy.
Yeah, smaller guy. Wait, now size matters. I guess DC win wasn't great. But yeah, so if we look at
DC was in his weight class.
He's 5'8". DC's 5'8". Yeah, but
DC went up and won his second belt.
Islam did too in better fashion.
Volk didn't.
Because he's going against the GOAT.
Come up now,
man.
Come up now.
I mean, he probably could, but what's the point? Because now he has to go against Movsar Evloev.
He'd have to
Movsar Evloev is literally a Russian dude who people if Volk beats, Volk's the real deal. That's literally a great test.
He'd have to go fight like somebody he already lost to get back to the belt, like Ilya, maybe.
I mean, he could, but Ilya Toporia's best accolade is losing to Justin. Nah, but not crazy. But I'm rage baiting. But nah, like listen, I think I got everything out the way. Fun debate. I'm gonna let you guys do a lot of
fun debate. Super fun debate. I haven't done these before. This is my first one. I don't know how I did.
Bro, you went against the reigning defending champion.
Who else have you debated?
Okay, Guru, Bedtime,
Hey, when did you debate Guru?
I debated Guru like on Darren Till's Space. I just made a video out of it. It was so bad for Guru. Guru is one of those guys. He doesn't really know much. I feel like and he was exposed.
Come on.
No, he doesn't, dude. Like when you're confronting him, he sounds smart in front of his camera. When you're like, I apply pressure when I debate, gang. Like it's different. Like when people think it's something, I'm in front of them. It's like, so they get a bit like,
never do that again. But yeah,
I try to, I got you this debate. I had you flustered a couple times.
I think if anybody was flustered, it was definitely you.
People know how I debate. They know how I bring. They know the energy I bring.
I don't know what was happening at some of that. But okay, you debated them. Bedtime. How did you beat Bedtime as well?
Yeah, because the thing about me and Bedtime, we would debate something and then the fights would happen. Like we were debating Murad.
You would be right about the deal.
And I was like, right. And everything I said in the debate like usually came into fruition. This one's more of like the debate I had with Shay.
Here, I'll say this too. What'll come to fruition if Islam keeps winning is he will be the GOAT. This is not a
no. He's already the GOAT though. We've established that.
I'm conceding this part, and this is the part I'll concede. He's not the GOAT to me right now, but 2 more wins, and you can't deny. Even Dana's
2?
Like, yeah, because I think he needs one more against a guy that's like one of these younger guys, and then potentially I don't know if it's going to be a rematch or if it's going to be Praches. Like I think it's going to be
who? Name me give me somebody.
I think it's either. I mean, it's obviously either going to be Praches or Morales, right? I think the tougher matchup. I don't know because Praches is dangerous on his feet. But
Praches is big. Yes, he's huge.
Morales is a fucking monster.
Oh, Morales is huge.
If we talk about like what his deficiencies are, Islam, it's these guys are bigger, right? And it's he even said it. He's like, my power's not there at 70. My strength is not where it needs to be.
That's crazy that he's undersized and still winning like this, though. It's just he's so good. Like, Jones could never.
Stronger than Ian Garry. I mean,
Ian Garry 50-45 beat belt to ass Carlos Prates for 5
that's what I'm
rounds
saying.
straight
That's
on short notice.
Morales
it blows my mind.
That I think that is going to give him more problems than Prates does.
Morales beat Neil Magny, Gilbert Burns, and Sean Brady.
I just think,
he wants
again, we're talking size or stylistic matchup. I think that size is a real big issue for him.
He got mauled by Magny, though. Magny had him against a fence, destroying him, though. Like, Magny sucks.
Maybe, but I think it's going to be a difficult.
I'm Magny, by the way. I'm literally Magny.
You're Magny.
I'm literally Magny. I nearly beat Morales.
I think 2 more fights. It gets him to 21 fights in the UFC. It gets him to 9 title.
Overkill.
9 title defenses. 9 title defenses, or no, 9 title wins. Excuse me. Sorry, 9 title wins. 7, I think, title defenses, which would the numbers would get a lot closer, and then still he would have more defenses at his second weight class than John. I think that would be the moment where we'd say, okay, enough is enough. He's the GOAT.
Okay, here's my stance. I'll end off with like what I think Islam should do. I think he should retire. I think Ian Gary's the best out of every young guy. I think Prates is probably the second best skill for skill, but I literally saw Ian Gary. Yeah, I saw Ian Gary literally run through that guy. So I think he literally beat the best young guy. I feel like Morales is more of like he only has first round finishes, probably has shit cardio, but he can catch Islam.
I don't think that'll be a great fight, him and Morales. I think it'll be a bit of a stalemate fight between those two. Like it'll just be
Morales,
one of those. It'll be one of those like. I think Prates is dangerous, but I think the same thing might happen to him that happened to Ian. It may be worse.
Yeah, it would be worse. There's no point. There's no point of sticking around. But if he does and wants to go for fucking 20, I don't even know who told him to stick around.
He says he wants 20. He wants a 20-fight win streak. If he gets to 19, I think there's no more denying it. And I'll even say this: if he goes out and fucking starches Carlos Prates or something, like if he were to fucking. You saw him trying to throw that pullback left hand on Ian Garry. He was like,
yes.
If he hit that shit,
he came close. He was
he kind of baited it, and it was like, okay, he wants it bad. If he hits that shit, then yeah, bro. All right, big spectacular performance, 1 more win or 2 more wins, and I'll give it to him.
Fair enough. So you're on the fence, like you literally think he's like right there.
No, I think he's going to. I never. My claim was never, and people got how people are on Twitter. I never said he wouldn't get there. I just said right now that bad loss is a bad loss. And I don't think the title defenses. It's a bad loss, dude. The guy fucking 23
it was a fluke.
14 or something.
It was literally a fluke. It was like a passing shot. It wasn't like he got. Oh my god, Islam got dominated. No,
no. He got. But I'm saying you get rendered unconscious, and it's different.
He wasn't unconscious. He was trying to get up. The ref
he was fighting in the air with his fucking deal. He was fucking riding a bicycle on the ground, but. That is the big outliers, that bad loss. And just John he had so many title defenses, so many champions on that resume, so much time. And it's like, this is the moment where the torch is already being passed. We saw 17 wins. That torch is passed.
I can't believe he beat Anderson Silva in the modern. Like you guys, I don't know when people understand how crazy that is. And people I
don't give the modern era necessarily the credit all the time, but in this case, the resumes of those two, it does make sense. Like the resume for Islam is better than the resume right now for Anderson, like the wins on the win streak.
So you can say that about Anderson, but not Jones. I wonder why, because they like have very similar wins.
No, I don't think that their resumes are the same. The level of champions that John beat, or the number of champions as well.
Silva beat a lot of champions as well, though.
Not as many as John did. 16 title fight wins for John.
Silva's up there too. I think Silva's like 14 or something. Like that's the thing. Like they're not that like Silva and Jones are literally like very similar.
The champions that John beat are different, and he did it at 2 weight classes. That's another big point.
Yeah, Stipe at 40 was. I can't believe he beat a 55-year-old.
You keep
that shit is so
going over Cyril.
I can't believe he did
crazy.
That.
I don't know why you do that.
I can't. How can you defend against Stipe? That guy's nasty. Nah, but that's surprising.
Why do you not go? Why do you?
Because I always think it's because like I always bring up the stylistic mismatch there, but you always try to ignore it. So that's why I don't keep going to it.
I'm not ignoring it, but you gotta. If Cyril Gane runs the heavyweight division, we're just gonna act like it didn't happen.
No, but he's good at what he's good at. Jones good at what he's good at. It happens to be.
What happens if he comes out and stuffs Tom Aspinall? Fucking pushes the head down.
But the thing is, Aspinall's not even a good wrestler. Aspinall's wrestling. Okay. It's not like John Jones level as far as offensive wrestling is concerned.
You need to have John Jones.
No, you could have Francis Ngannou level wrestling, beat him fine.
So does Tom have better wrestling than Francis?
I don't know. Francis in PFL too. Like he kind of just takes people down and beats them up. I don't know. Francis is actually, I don't know. I don't know how good he is.
Man, come on, bro.
I mean, he would knock out Jones too. All right, fair enough. All right, listen, we're yapping.
Appreciate the Kenny Okoye. I don't even know what the community, the Okoye is what I'm going to call him. Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys. We'll see. We'll see what the people think. Here's the thing. My first one. Maybe we keep doing these. That'd be fun.
I don't mind it. Listen,
I think it's fun. I don't. We do our own channels, whatever. But I gotta do some collaboration, all that. So I appreciate the time and
thank you, Wade, brother.
We'll go again.
It was fun. It was fun having Wade on, guys. Show him some love on his channel, bro. You know he's boxing too. Do you still have the WWE? No.
I'm not boxing anymore, bro. Fuck all that. I'm done. I'm 33. I'm 33.
Yo, don't
now,
even do that, guys. Look at it. If you look
at
this
you're
fight,
the young buck. You're the young buck. Go take it.
I'm not getting in that fucking ring.
You said you were boxing now.
Maybe like a MMA thing, like a content creator thing. But like
versus bedtime.
You know what? Bedtime. I've been asking for it. I'll do boxing at bedtime. Not MMA,
he might piece you up. I seen that footage.
No, he's pretty. He's not bad. He hold me against the fence. But yeah, guys, pleasure having Wade Clem here. He's the GOAT. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.